Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio Sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, last night on Thursday Night Football, the Buffalo Bills crushed the Dolphins in Miami 31-10. But the bad news, Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa went out with a concussion, his third confirmed in his NFL career, which began in 2021. Two of those concussions occurred in the 2022 season. There are many former NFL players today calling for him to step down. Cowboys, they open up at home against the Saints on Sunday. You can hear it here beginning at 11.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minutes.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on this Football Friday. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy.
Y'all.
Y'all. Got to get a y'all.
Got to get a y'all in there on a Friday.
Yeah, they don't say that in the Pacific Northwest, man. So
Howdy.
The idea of UTSA going Pac-12 isn't there. I'm going back and forth with the publisher of the Express News.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Mark Medici just tweeted out. He's the big boss man there at the Express News. Now, he's a University of Washington alum.
All right.
He grew up with the Pac-12.
Uh-huh.
He just wrote an editorial in the Express News that UTSA needs to go to the Pac-12. Man, just do it. No.
Why?
Bad idea.
Does he say why? Why does that need to happen?
Well, he's biased, and because he thinks it's big time.
It's not big time.
Well, yeah, that's it. The new Pac-12, and that's what I just tweeted at him. And I've got a video at SA Sports Star's Instagram, at SA Sports Star. This new Pac-12 is not going to be the Conference of Champions.
No.
It's nice to be wanted. It's nice that UTSA, in a short amount of time, is at the level where conferences are targeting them.
Yeah.
They want what UTSA offers.
Sure.
Just because they're the first to ask you to the dance doesn't mean you have to say yes. Yeah, UTSA, I don't think is ready. Athletic budget-wise, NIL budget-wise, but this new Pac-12 that they're coming up with, this reimagined Pac-12, which right now is a six-pack, it's more of a lateral move from where they are right now in the American. Plus, you'd have all your games at 9 o'clock at all your road game, or most of your road games at 9 o'clock at night.
Well, that's exactly right. It's a lateral move. And if the Pac-12 can be so great, why is he not politicking for Washington to go back?
Oh, are you kidding
what
me?
the hell? If it's so great,
well,
let's go get the Huskies back in the Pac-12.
I mean, look, we could always reinvent the Southwest Conference. Those were some glory days.
Well, I mean, look, Washington can't go back because with the Big Ten now, they would sue the pants off of them. But look, I mean, it's just not. It's a lesser than conference now. Let's just get used to it. It's not, and nobody should call it a Power Five. It's not a Power Five conference anymore. And but UTSA has no business moving over there.
I unless they just offered a boatload of money that we're unaware of.
TV wise,
but again, the reason it dissolved is because they couldn't get a good TV contract. But still, when you look at it, the athletic budget, and it's a quick Google search to figure this out. UTSA's athletic budget is about $39 million, right? When you look at the athletic budgets of the former Pac-12 members that moved, when you look at Oregon and Washington and Arizona, Colorado, Utah, well over $120 million. You've got Colorado State and Boise State with athletic budgets of just over 60. San Diego State somehow has over 100 million in their athletic budget. Fresno State is around 45, and UTSA is at 39 right now. Now, I know that will go up, but It just doesn't, I like the idea of UTSA moving to a Power 5 conference or a Power 4, whatever we have now, just not this reimagined Pac-12.
They've got a lot of work to do with the Pac-12, and the teams that are going over there are honestly, I mean, they don't give me any more excitement than Michigan or UAB or North Texas. I mean, it's the same brand of football, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I want to go, if you're going to go play somewhere like Oklahoma State, I don't know, BYU or Utah, some of these teams, Baylor, some of the teams that are in the Big 12 conference right now. I mean, that's more exciting to me than a tilt with San Diego State.
Yeah, you're right. Good regional rivals. Like, this weekend, good friend Eric Morris has taken his North Texas team into Lubbock. Now, of course, Eric Morris played at Texas Tech. That's going to be a good game. At one time, in the not too distant future, that could be a Big 12 game.
Could be.
Right? And that's creates some good natural rivals, regional matchups. That's what I think UTSA needs to do. Go watch the video on Instagram at SA Sports Star. Drop your comments in there, because what I'm glad to see is there are some people that are for this, although Mark, I think, is maybe too blinded with his purple and gold and love for the Pac-12, because I know he was also upset when the Pac-12 went away. And if you grew up on the West Coast, Pac-12 football, that was it. It was the Conference of Champions. I get that. It will never be that again, just like we will never get the old Southwest Conference again, the old Big 8 again. What you grew up with and what you have today are two different things.
There's no question about it. And it's well said. I'm just saying, look, the Pac-12, the TV problems that they had with the West Coast time, that was all an issue. It was. And I don't care whether you call me old for going to bed early or whatever you want to do. It's if you're on the East Coast, you're not watching a Pac-12 football game at 1:00 in the morning. You're just not doing it. And even in the Central Time Zone, you're not doing it. And so an ESPN, a CBS, whatever, it's just not worth it for them to just cater to the West Coast. It's just not. You want the entire country watching, especially if you got a big-time matchup, which you did at one time in the Pac-12. So it's just, look, there's an issue with the timing, and until they get that worked out, which obviously is one reason why they like UTSA.
Yeah.
Games here would be in the Central Time Zone, and it would be more attractive to the rest of the country. But as it stands right now for UTSA, and I don't know what they're thinking over there about the Pac-12, if they've even been offered, invited, or whatever the case may be. I'm sure they've gotten a phone call or two.
Sure.
But to me, it's a lateral move, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, again, comment, give us your thoughts. And look, UTSA is attractive because Jeff Traylor is building a winner. This is a program in a very short amount of time that is on a level none of us would have imagined back when they played that first game, not that long ago, right? So you look at like the Arizona schools coming in to the Big 12. They like that because they want to recruit Texas. There's a reason why UTSA in their history have played Arizona and Arizona State, while Arizona State had a road game in San Marcos last night, because it's good for recruiting to come in this state and recruit when you're not in a quote-unquote football hotbed. And what a game last night for Arizona.
Oh, it was
State.
a hell of a game. Well, for both.
Yeah.
I mean, for both teams, it was a hell of a game. Look, Texas State had them on the ropes, 21-7, and to me, I think they just wore down a little bit. I think that the size of Arizona State kind of wore them down in the second half, and I got to tell you, man, I love my brother.
Do you?
I do. I really do.
We're
really
talking about Randy?
Randy, yeah.
Right,
so we're at the gym today, and he's just going on a rant about how G.J. Kinney got out-coached in the second half. Just completely got out-coached. And it was a turnaround. They couldn't do this. They couldn't do that. I said, did you ever think that their players just made more plays than Texas State's players? And that's kind of the way it happened. I'm not sure there was any out-coaching there. Maybe there was some adjustments you could say. But to me, and you guys, you listen to this program for any amount of time, I think coaching is important, but sometimes overrated. Players still have to go out there and make plays. Arizona State made more plays in the second half.
You look at the coaching last night, and I thought what you saw on display were two great young head coaches.
Yes.
Now, obviously, with my daughter at Arizona State, I've been following Arizona State closely for the last couple of years. And that Dillingham guy is a great young homegrown coach. And they're 3-0 for the first time since, I think, 2019. I thought you saw two great coaches, young coaches last night. The real difference in the game, that fumble. And,
sure.
And Texas State fumbled, and Arizona State took advantage of it. You know, Arizona State, at one point when I thought there was a coaching mistake, it was by Arizona State. I thought they should go for it, and they tried a 50-some-odd yard field goal and missed. Kid had the leg, but the way that game was going, go for it. I didn't think field goals were going to win that game last night. It turned out to be a field goal being the difference. But you had great special teams plays on both sides, some big defensive plays, and some incredible offensive plays. Last night was just a hell of a football game.
It was a great football game, and I think there were some drop balls by some Texas State receivers as well, some errant passes by that young quarterback who I think is really, really good. Look, Texas State is for real, and they're going to be around in that Sun Belt Conference. They're going to be around the top. If they're not the favorites, they should be. That's a good football team.
A 3-point loss to a Big 12 team won't hurt Texas State when it comes to the playoffs if they continue to run the table. And you look at the rest of their schedule, they'll run the table. They'll have that one loss. And when you're looking at who's going to represent the group of five in the playoffs, Texas State still has an opportunity.
There's no question about it. The other thing on that game, I think Texas State has got to learn, because they haven't been in this position very often, they've got to learn a killer instinct.
Yeah.
And I think when they had Arizona State on the ropes 21-7, you got to put those guys away, and they didn't do it.
No, and Arizona State showed, all right, we can battle back.
Yeah.
You know, that one play at a time mentality, which sounds all cliche, but they chipped away because, quite frankly, Arizona State last year would have folded and they would have lost that game, I don't know, 45-14. That's what we saw last year. I think they had all of 3 wins last year, and they're already 3-0. Quick turnaround for Arizona State. Forks up, as they say.
Forks up.
Forks up.
Wow.
You got to be careful with that.
Yeah, you do.
You got to be very, very careful.
Forks up.
Yep. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Watching that game last night.
It was a fun game. Both, watching both games. I was watching the NFL game too. Very sad though with Tua, and he's got a big decision to make, I think.
Well, I mean, get him healthy. I mean, immediately, I think all of us are calling for Tua to shut it down. And we'll talk about that, plus the Cowboys coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm just going over the list of NFL odds, and I've got a list here that I'm trying to figure out what I'm interested in this weekend. I really like the Bengals plus 6.5, Jason Minix. I'm just going to let you know that. But once I do make my decision, the first place I'm going to go is BetUS.com, because that's where I go. I've been gambling with BetUS.com now for, I don't know, about 3 years or so, and I like it because it's easy. It's easy to sign up. It's easy to deposit. It's easy to collect. All of those things are easy, and they've got everything that you need with the competitive odds, the parlays, the live betting, the odds boost, the props betting. You can do whatever you want at BetUS.com. They've even got casino games that you can play. I've done that a couple of times, but for me, it's more about the sports book. But at BetUS.com right now, if you go there, you sign up, you're going to get 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. You heard me right. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. Look, it's easy to do. It adds to the excitement of watching football, whether that's college football or pro football. Go to BetUS.com, sign up today, get ready for the weekend. You can also give them a call at 1-800-MY-BET-US. That's 1-800-MY-BET-US. BetUS. It's where the game begins.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chungla. Sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Connecticut quality water softeners. They are studs of water softeners, that's for sure. Got one in my house, and I tell you what, it is really a game changer. There's no question about it. I didn't think there would be a difference, but there is. Connecticut is absolutely the best. Look, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America. And you know as well as I do, you live in San Antonio and South Texas, well, water softener is a must because the water is hard. It can do a lot of damage. And why not have the best? Give them a call at 656-PURE, 656-7873, because when you do that, they're going to put a Connecticut quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. You heard me right. 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. If you don't like it after 90 days, they'll come take it out. You don't owe them a dime. Call Connecticut. You won't regret it. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit GetGeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30. The Aggies take on the Florida Gators, presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pregame at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. You can get us on Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210. Tweet at me at Jason Minix. The station is at SA Sports Star. Same handles for Instagram. All of us last night were doctors on social media last night. You see a hit, and I forget what the technical term is. Good friend, former co-host Dat Wynn used to call it going crickets.
Yeah.
And you could tell a player immediately when they've been knocked out because of their hands, they go crickets. There's a term for it. I forget what it is just because I can't get going crickets out of my mind.
Yeah.
And last night we saw Tua go crickets.
He did.
On what looked to be a fairly simple routine play.
Yeah.
It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was to the chest of all things of DeMar Hamlin. And he was
Which is
out.
ironic in itself, is it not?
Well, and the idea that those Buffalo players last year watched their teammate go through what he went through. And now those same players, a lot of those same players are now watching Tua. Having seen what we've all witnessed with Tua, the best news is he was able to get up and walk off the field. But all of us immediately knew exactly what had happened, and we were all doctors. Dr. Pledge was the first in our group chat. That's a concussion. Yep, that's a concussion. And he's done. He should retire. Everybody immediately saying, end this man's career.
Well, 3 concussions now confirmed, and that's a key term because who knows? There could be others, but 3 confirmed since he began his career, just 3 years ago, and it's bad. And, we talked about this, Jason, when before they gave Tua his money and then after, and it's like it's tough to pay a guy like that when he's just a concussion away from what could be a career ender. And whether this is or not remains to be seen. But already I've seen Antonio Pierce, the head coach of the Raiders, come out and say he needs to step down. Des Bryant sent out a tweet saying that, look, guy, man, football's great, but when you're 20 years from now, you still want to be able to walk and think and do for yourself. And it's so it's going to be a tough call for Tua to moving forward.
It will be, and I don't know what the answer is. I mean, it's easy, I think, for Antonio Pierce to say he should be done. It's easy for Des Bryant. His career is over. Every athlete that we talk to, especially when we're on Super Bowl Radio Row, and you're talking to a lot of legends of the game, and you look at like the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund that Mike Ditka started, that our friends with Southern Recipe Pork Rinds are a big part of, and you because those guys didn't make the money they're making now. And they're dealing with a lot of different things. Think about somebody like a Tony Dorsett and what he's going through. The idea with all of them, I've never talked to one of these athletes that wouldn't say, yeah, whatever I'm dealing with now, I would still do it. I would still play the game. I would still, and most guys will play until the game tells them it's time to go. I mentioned Datwin a little while ago. Datwin knew it was time for him to go when he couldn't get from point A to point B anymore, and he probably left with something left in the tank.
Sure.
I heard Bart Scott this morning on ESPN say everybody thought it was a foot injury. It wasn't. I was seeing spots and all kinds of weird stuff. And it will be up to Tua. It really will be. And I think Mike McDaniel, the head coach of the Dolphins, said it best earlier today when he was asked the question, should Tua continue to play football?
I think it would be so wrong of me to even sniff that subject. And it's more in line of actually caring about the human being. And, that's something that entirely you're talking about his career, right? His career is his, and that's something that I think I just really, really, really wish. I totally understand it. And it's not misplaced. I totally get how that's where people want to go to. I just wish that people would for a second hear what I'm saying, that bringing up his future is not in the best interest of him.
No, it's not. Look, it's not anybody else's decision to make. Here's what's going to happen, and there's so many difficult things that you work out when it comes to money, and I know that that's secondary. Tua's got plenty of money. He's got $93 million guaranteed to him right now. So if he walked away today, he's going to be just fine with that. He's got $50 million more guaranteed if he plays in 2025. That is something that I did. And then there's this. If he is never medically cleared by doctors, he gets all the money.
Yeah.
He gets it all. But if he is and he doesn't play, then, of course, then you're looking at years.
And that's the interesting thing here. because I think it was a Des Bryant tweet that said NFL do the right thing. I don't know that it's the NFL's call. I don't know. At least it's been 24 hours. Not even 24 hours.
Right.
And, you know, but if he never clears protocol, then he'll never play again. But clearly he's going to pass protocols at some point.
He will.
And Mike McDaniel last night was one thing. This morning, I think after sleeping on it and trying to take some emotion out, said the only person that can decide is Tua. Cut forward.
If I would answer that question, I'd be like, all right, this is my thoughts on his career. And he read it. If he agreed with it or he disagreed with it, either way, I've just made him worse. So I'm not taking this opportunity to just, you know, I don't think it's appropriate simply because of my care and regard. And I don't think those types of conversations when you're talking about somebody's career, I think it probably is only fair that their career should be decided by them.
Now, look, Tua's going to get all kinds of advice. You know he is, from friends, family, doctors, and he's going to have to take all of that in and then decide what he wants to do. Good news is Miami doesn't play for another 10 days, right? They get a mini bye week. I would doubt very seriously he'll play in game number 3. He could, but I would doubt very seriously does. He may miss a couple of games before he decides whether he can return or not. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next several days and couple of weeks.
Whoever he's getting advice from, whether it's former players, his family, watching Scott Van Pelt last night, who knows the family, I guess, well, because his brother was at Maryland, and, you know, he was just talking about what a family guy he is. I remember when, you know, he was first coming out represented by Lee Steinberg, you know, we heard a lot from Lee about the family importance for him and that dynamic. Lee Steinberg, who does so much with brain study and so many different things, raising money for CTE. Of course, he had guys like Troy Aikman, and you know, and again, you look at a guy like Troy Aikman, all his concussions, and you watch him in the booth, and you know, everybody is affected differently as they age. Some guys couldn't do what Troy is doing right now. And that's the weird part about it. It's, you know, you start talking to athletes about concussions and you can't see the brain. It's a no-see-em kind of injury.
Right.
You know, they know how to rehab a knee injury or an ankle injury or an arm injury. You can't rehab your brain, and you can't see your brain and see that it's getting better. So that's the scary part of it. What does he ultimately end up doing? Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, as he is every Friday on with the Morning Huddle, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. The boys asked him this morning about the Tua situation and just the dynamic relationship that you have to have with your players, and what kind of advice as a coach do you give a player in a situation like this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have those moments with your players, you know, especially when they're going through, you know, medical situation. You know, personally, I've had a couple players, you know, that had neck surgery and, you know, and felt that they were able still to come back and play, and then the decision was, you know, that they did not. So you know, that's a tough process for players to go through when they're, you know, dealing with the injury, and then they have to make a decision about moving forward. So yeah, you know, that's part of the coach-player relationship.
And I think that's when you hear the coach for the Dolphins talk, and it's not up to me, and it'd be inappropriate for me to say. And I love what you said. Look, that's not my expertise. I'm not a doctor. I'm a football coach, so I don't want to speak to something that I'm not trained to do.
And what I find even more interesting, because he might not be a doctor, but he knows, in the human element, all of us love the brutality that football offers.
Sure.
The idea that if he would have slid and not picked up the first down, how much crap we would be giving him for sliding early, right? Because it's football. But then you see that, and dude, I don't want to see you die on the football field.
No.
And I think that's where the human element comes in. Easy for us, though, to say, retire. And it's interesting watching different former athletes, whether it was last night on ESPN, this morning on Get Up. Ryan Clark might have said it the best. You're talking about a man who's dreamed his whole life of making it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And give up your dreams. That's easier said than done. And then the idea that your teammates, because that is so important. You don't want to let your teammates down. It's tough. It's got to be a family decision for Tua. We can all have thoughts on it, but it's not really up to us.
No, it's not. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of a decision he makes. And look, if he's cleared and the doctors tell him the risks moving forward, whether that's now or 20 years from now, and he chooses to play, that's his decision to make. And if that's what he wants to do, then I respect it. And it's up to him to decide that, up to him with his family to decide that. And I don't know about anybody else, but if he decides he wants to continue to play, then I have nothing but respect for him, because that's what he has decided to do.
And a lot of people have already questioned the contract the Dolphins gave him in the offseason.
Yes.
Because he's one concussion away. We've been saying that for a long time,
yes.
right? I don't know what kind of medical provisions might be in that contract if he had to give something up in order to get that money. But clearly, before Miami gave him that contract, they had all the medical information on whether this was the right thing to do. But that play last night looked about as routine as they could. You would not think a play like that, a helmet into the chest area, would result in a concussion. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was none of that. And honestly, DeMar Hamlin looked almost like he was trying to get out of the way and just ride him to the ground.
Yeah.
And for him to go crickets on that was surprising.
Well, that's crazy. And I think there was maybe a false sense of security, because he went all of last year without any problems.
Yep.
And so, 2022 was bad. 23 was no issue. And now we've got this here. But it will be interesting to see what decision Tua wants to make. I've never been a huge Tua fan. I've said that on this program. Last night, he was terrible. He was awful last night. I asked a friend of mine today when the Bills were going to sell the Dolphins, because they flat out own them.
They do.
At least lately. But he was having a bad game all around anyway.
That pick six.
It was terrible. And they were just, balls that were sailing all night long. But if Tua decides he wants to play, then that's his decision to make.
Miami now has to make a decision on quarterback. They're going to keep. They're going to keep
Skylar Thompson was awful.
Again, this morning on Get Up, they were like, "Did they call the Cowboys and ask about Cooper Rush?"
Why? Well, why not? There's a Trey Lance sitting there, right?
You know what? I'd give up Trey Lance in a heartbeat. I don't know if I'd give up Cooper Rush.
Yeah, not if you've got Trey Lance as a backup.
Well, how comfortable are you with Trey Lance? Could he be QB2 if you could get something for Cooper Rush, or can you get your fourth back for a Trey Lance?
Well,
and then there's stupid rumors that Tom Brady's coming out of the booth.
Tom Brady coming out of the booth and going to the Dolphins.
It's out there.
Yeah, somebody put that out there today. That would be that would be fun.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill, pack your bags and go to South Beach.
Ryan Tannehill. I don't know. Look, I laugh at Skylar Thompson, but I mean, to get thrown into the fire like that, after he's going to have 10 days now to prepare and be ready. He'll be it won't be the same, obviously, but he'll be a better quarterback than what we saw last night when he was thrown into the fire.
It's going to be interesting to say the least. Let's talk some Cowboys coming up. Big game this week against the New Orleans Saints, their home opener. We're talking about it next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. You need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, any kind of shirt, Sam will get you taken care of. T-shirts, screen printed, need those done? Go see Sam. If you need caps, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Katie caps, Nike Cap America, to name a few. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're back from Las Vegas. Did Rob wear underwear today? We'll talk Cowboys, we'll talk Texas, we'll talk Jonas. Get here early, the party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws a block, and his teammate scores instead. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at tsaog.com.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Warning. The following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome, and You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Reinagle wearing a Valero Texas Open shirt.
Yes, sir.
That's a good-looking shirt.
I like this shirt.
Yeah.
I do.
That's a good-looking shirt. You can see it if you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. I don't know if that's the shirt that he would be wearing on September 30th when we're out at Olympia Hills for our Fall Golf Classic, but it's appropriate today.
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you're not going to wear that. You'll be wearing a station shirt.
You think so?
Probably.
I'll be wearing a white belt. I'll tell you that.
Lord.
That's for damn
sure.
sure.
When we were out at Olympia Hills yesterday, you were like, dude, why are there no white belts available here in the pro shop? And the answer was because we're a classy joint.
Well, obviously they're not.
Oh,
goodness. I had a discussion with Sal about that.
Yeah.
So, by the 30th, there might be one or two out there.
No. Just not for sale anyway. I mean, just the three that actually there could be for sale. You've got 3 white belts, apparently, according to you.
I got 2.
Oh, you got 2.
I've got 2.
3?
I don't know, but I have 2.
3.
No,
it's Chip Ingram has 3.
He has 3. Yeah.
So I think you only You only need one, so you might be able to sell the other ones, make a little bit of money.
Maybe so.
Maybe
it's for charity.
Why not? I mean, there's all kinds of other stuff going on at the course during our tournament. So just all the reasons for you to get yourself signed up at sasportstar.com. Monday, September 30th. Join us out at Olympia Hills. We were out there yesterday. The course is in fantastic shape. All the renovations, all the green renovations are done. They are back open. Most of the other projects they've been doing done or damn near done. So September 30th, that course is going to be perfect. It's the best I've seen it. It looks great.
Ever. No kidding.
So get signed up. It does benefit San Antonio sports as they celebrate their 40th anniversary. Brought to you by the lofts of Jesse Hernandez. You won't be thirsty out there because our good friends at Flight by Yingling and Jim Beam will assure that. So, and the scenery, as we know, is always top notch.
Always top notch. And so if you get stuck on a particular hole, you'll understand why.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of a backup.
If slow play is there, don't worry. You won't mind waiting.
There's a lot of pictures being taken. That's part of the part of the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That is not really a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
Get signed up at sasportstar.com. The Cowboys with their home opener this week. Very impressive opening game against Cleveland. And the idea that, quite frankly, I don't think many expected a blowout win in week 1. Whether you pick the Cowboys to win or not, I thought I picked Cleveland to win the game. Just at home, their defense, I expected more out of Deshaun Watson. That certainly changes the perception going into week 2. How did they duplicate that? New Orleans coming off of an impressive win over a bad Carolina team, but anytime you score that many points in the NFL, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're seemingly doing something right down there in New Orleans.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara ran the ball really well in that game against the Panthers, and Derek Carr played a solid game. So, look, Derek Carr is no slouch. He's not a top-tier quarterback, but he's certainly not a slouch either. The guy can play. So I don't know what all New Orleans has and how good they ultimately will be, but obviously they have the potential to put up some points.
Well, and you mentioned Derek Carr throwing the ball. New Orleans will run the ball, something Cleveland really didn't do and couldn't do a week ago. So we keep talking about how good is this Cowboys run defense going to be under Zim? As Jerry Jones said this morning on 105.3 The Fan, the big concern is that Saints run game.
They run the ball exceptionally well for a pro team. They're really grounded. That's I guess
yeah,
fun,
funny,
but
Jerry.
They're really grounded in the run game. And that's really something that's got Zimmer and got our defense really preparing for. But they've got that a guy that is what I call a Swiss knife. He does everything for them and is a really good football player. But listen, the run game, when you really get it executed and you really put the emphasis on it, and I can't tell you the number of coaches that I've had over the years have said, we have got to not just say we're going to do the run game. We've got to get committed to the run game. And I'm thinking when they're opening, well, now tell me what the difference is. You're saying you're committed,
McCarthy.
but you really got to be committed. Well, there is a big difference, and it's a lot easier said than done to go out there. They're committed to the run game. We'll have a real test, but I really like the makeup of what our defense is right now. We've got some big boys in the middle, and got some good linebackers that'll really go the ball. And frankly, our secondary will come to the ball hard too. So I like the way we match up for run game.
Well, and to his point, I really like what Kendricks did last week. I mean, you talk about a guy that now is the captain of that defense and has the green dot. He really played well, and I think that's going to help the run defense tremendously. But New Orleans has to get the running game going to get the passing offense. They've got to have the threat of the play action, and if they don't get the running game going, then it's going to be a long Sunday afternoon for them.
Well, and you mentioned Kendricks, and quite frankly, the speed of Overshown and how good he was. But it will be a test in that run game defense that we've talked about for a long time. And if they get that run game going and they're winning time of possession, that means Dak can't hurt them offensively. First half last week against Cleveland, the Cowboys offense looked pretty good, got pretty pedestrian in the second half. Dak Prescott was asked yesterday, how much better can the offense be here in week 2 compared to a week ago in week 1?
Yeah, tons. And usually that's when teams make that jump, from week 1, week 2. And just understanding we left a lot of meat out there on the bone. You look at the game, and it was a tell. We've said around here, it was a tell of 2 halves, right? First half, started off slow on the first drive. After that, got it rolling, got some first down, scored, got some points. And in the second half, we weren't able to convert on third down, and that was the story for us. We weren't able to put that team away when we had the chance. Defense did a great job of it. But for us, it's about moving forward. One of the best third down teams we've been. So it's about getting back on track on that, converting those. And when you do, you get more plates, more chances at the plate, you get more plays. And that's when just the big plays come naturally in our offense. So we've got to convert those third downs and looking to do it this week.
I will say the same thing about the Cowboys. It would benefit Dak Prescott in that passing game if they would get some semblance of a running game going. I mean, we can sit here and talk all day long that, well, they're a passing team. And yes, they are primarily. But a running game, just any kind of a semblance of a running game, is a quarterback's best friend. And I know that Dak Prescott would not say it publicly, but, hey, he'd like to see a little more out of Zeke and Dowdle and, well, even that Deuce guy.
Yeah.
Whoever is on the field. And Deuce shouldn't be, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that scares the hell out of me. I'll be totally honest with you.
It is interesting because Mike McCarthy said this morning on the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, his weekly appearance brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds, about adjustments he needs to make as a play caller here in week 2.
Well, I think you just got to be in tune with, the why. And, for the first and second down wasn't, we were in favorable, makeable third down situations. I mean, really the story for the offense in the second half was 0 for 5 on third down,
Mm-hmm.
And if you go through the specifics of each one and you see why, just, that they were there, to be converted. So, and that's part of the details that I'm referring to.
And hey, look, I've said this before. I thought McCarthy called a great game in that first half, but they did. There's something, whether Cleveland made some sort of an adjustment that confused the Cowboys a little bit, or they got complacent and just, let their foot off the gas, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't as good in the second half as it was in the first half. So they've got to get that fixed. And look, 4 field goals out of Brandon Aubrey, while he's Mr. Automatic, that's not something that you want game in and game out.
No, I mean, it's a threat, but I'd rather have 7.
Absolutely.
I want touchdowns, not field goals, even though Brandon Aubrey's on my fantasy team. The Cowboy fan of me wants to see a lot more touchdowns. The idea of the run game, and Jerry this morning had this long, convoluted answer about how highly graded Zeke was this weekend or last week against Cleveland. And it wasn't because of his running. It was because of his blocking. And we've talked about it since he came back. That's got to be one of the biggest reasons he was brought back. But I'm with you. There has to be a threat of a run game. And when you look at 0 for 5 on third down last week and everything you just heard from Mike McCarthy, because the Cowboys had the big lead and they were getting fairly conservative, Cleveland knew they were just going to try to run the ball.
Yeah.
And they couldn't run it effectively because they're not going to keep throwing when you're up big like that and put Tyler Guyton in a bad situation. Let Myles Garrett completely destroy the game. And there really isn't a true threat of running the ball. Now, in that red zone situation, when Zeke was able to score in the red zone, that was a great sight because that was missing last year.
Yeah.
Last year, that drive would have ended in a field goal. This year, Zeke got it into the end zone. But between the 20s, there's no real threat of a run game.
There's not, and there has to be. You're not going to be able to go through the entire season with any credible offense if you don't have something that the defense at least has to respect. And right now, the Saints are certainly not going to say this publicly either, but I can't even imagine that they're game planning too much about stopping the Cowboys running game. My focus is CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott. Jake Ferguson, not sure if he's going to play or not. I at this point in time, kind of doubt it. I mean, it doesn't look good. Mike McCarthy didn't answer that question this morning when he was talking to the fellas on the morning.
No.
He said that, they got to be checked out today. It was the same with Nealon. So both of those guys in question for Sunday's game. And if one or both of those guys are out, that certainly helps or hurts. Excuse me.
I do wonder in a limited role, Ferguson might still be able to play, but mainly just as a blocker. I can't see him with that bad knee running a ton of routes or any routes. You know what I mean? Like, can he play and can he help block? Because he has turned into a good blocker, which means Schoonmaker is going to have to step up and play well.
Yeah.
Which,
Stone hands himself.
Well, I mean, look, it's a possibility. you never know,
Jeez.
But go earn your money. You're a second-round pick.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something more from the Jalen's.
Yes.
Especially the Tolbert one, because the expectations were there. Although thought our guy Jalen Brooks, he had that one really nice catch in that game. The idea that we do need 4 quarters out of this offense as opposed to the 2 that the Cowboys got last week. And playing at home, they've been so successful there. It's going to be pretty good. As we're playing clips from McCarthy on the huddle, I couldn't help but think, dude, I hope Rob's wearing underwear.
Oh, dude, seriously, you're thinking about Rob's underwear?
Well, he posted.
Really?
He posted last night that he didn't pack his drawers for the trip, and he was in the longest line I've ever seen.
I saw that picture,
and I was trying to figure out where the hell was he, where he was trying to buy underwear that late at night in Las Vegas. And how do you forget to pack your underwear?
I have no idea.
And why do you feel the need to post that? Because your dumbass forgot to pack underwear, and now you're in a long line. There's got to be other ways to get some undies as opposed to stand in that long ass line.
I don't know if there is. Vegas is kind of. I know there's a city there, but I'm really not familiar with any parts of the city. I usually stay in one place, but I'll be honest with you, Minix. Rob wearing underwear or not, I really don't give a damn. He can do whatever he wants.
I'd rather not to know that he was freeballing while talking on the radio.
He could be freeballing all he wants.
It's hot up there. It could be sweaty. You're sitting there, and I just know Rob too well, and I'm thinking, dude, they're staying at MGM. You go down to the Miracle Mile and get some shorts. You don't need to stand in the longest line I've ever seen at a CVS. I mean, what the hell is going on in Vegas where there's that kind of line at the store?
Well, maybe everybody forgot their chonies this trip.
Dude, it's Vegas. Some people just go without because they can.
Well, yeah, and very true. And sometimes it's appropriate. I don't know.
When is it appropriate?
Is the MGM I got stories. But sometimes does the MGM not have a gift shop? Yeah, or something that sells underwear?
Dude, it's 2024. You probably get it delivered to your room.
I would imagine so.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can do anything in Vegas if you got money.
If we can get ice DoorDash to us within an hour,
yeah,
I'd imagine he could have had some undies.
Yeah.
And look, his wife, I'd be like, honey, I'm at work. I forgot this. Do you mind going to the store? I mean, Kelly must have just been beside herself when she realized.
I'm sure. The
man forgot to
But I promise you, I saw that picture, and not once have I thought since whether Rob's wearing underwear or not, because I really don't care. He can do whatever he wants, and it's not going to affect me one way or the other.
No, I was just like, come on, Rob, of all things. Of all things. And knowing Rob, I'm surprised he put that out there. You know, a lot of times Rob will do really dumb things. He just doesn't want to broadcast it to the world.
Well, if he wasn't wearing chonies, I just hope he's wearing dark pants, because you go and pee unless you're really, dabbing that thing.
No.
It's gonna be wet spots all over the place.
No.
So I hope he was wearing dark pants.
Well, see, having done a show with Rob for about 5 years, Rob, I'm guessing he's wearing shorts. He's wearing his uniform. He's got on shorts and a fishing shirt. But Rob likes to do a show where he takes another chair and puts a leg up like that.
Oh, jeez.
And all I can think of is Rob is in this ballroom with all these radio types and all these boxers, and he's out there going commando. And that's not the thing to be doing.
Dude.
I mean, I was worried for my friend Rob Thompson.
I'm glad they're in Vegas. That's all I'm happy that I'm glad they're there.
Well, and then from the personal side, his seat's right next to mine at the Cowboys game on Sunday. I just,
Well, I mean, surely. I don't know when they're coming. They're coming back today? Tomorrow?
No, he's flying from Vegas to Dallas on Saturday night.
All right.
And then going to the game on Sunday.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he still won't have any chones then, unless he bought some.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Why don't you take him some, Jason? I mean,
I'm not.
Yeah, you could go to the store tonight before you go up there.
I mean, we're friends and all, but
and buy him a pack of Hanes.
No. Not no.
Rob, is he a boxer guy? Is he a brief?
No idea. I have no idea.
Is anybody a brief guy anymore?
Well, they sell them. I mean, I'm more of a boxer brief guy.
Well, I'm a boxer brief guy.
Yeah, so I have no idea.
Boxers were too loose.
Yeah.
Just regular boxers, man. Things just kind of move around in there. At least the boxer briefs kind of hold you in a little bit.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Wow.
What do you do with that?
We go to a break.
Yeah.
That's
it's
what
the
we
Blitz
do.
on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 410 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com. Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon and noon. The Cowboys take on the New Orleans Saints at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pregame starts at 11 a.m. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, sports bettors, Joe Reinigle here to tell you about my favorite sportsbook and casino, BetUS.com. Football is back, so it's time to get in on the action. I endorse one sportsbook and casino, and that is BetUS. BetUS went large for you this season. A huge offer, 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Get started today at BetUS.com or give them a call, 1-800-MY-BETUS. BetUS, where the game begins.
Connecticut quality water softeners. They are studs of water softeners, that's for sure. Got one in my house, and I tell you what, it is really a game changer. There's no question about it. I didn't think there would be a difference, but there is. Connecticut is absolutely the best. Look, Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America, and you know as well as I do, you live in San Antonio and South Texas, well, water softener is a must because the water is hard. It can do a lot of damage. And why not have the best? Give them a call at 656-PURE, 656-7873, because when you do that, they're going to put a Connecticut quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. You heard me right. 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. If you don't like it after 90 days, they'll come take it out. You don't owe them a dime. Call Connecticut. You won't regret it. 656-PURE, 656-7873, or ConnecticutSA.com.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It's football season, and you know the best place to watch games is at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College, pro, the games are on at the Roo. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to SASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Tickets. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Bad news for the Miami Dolphins last night. Their quarterback Tua Tagovailoa went out with a concussion, his 3rd confirmed concussion in his NFL career, which began in 2021. The Cowboys play this week at home against the Saints. It is their home opener. You can hear that game right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star beginning at 11 o'clock. Houston Texans are playing a Sunday night game against the Bears. You can catch that here as well beginning at 6:30.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas
52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix on this Football Friday.
It is. So we're at a great place, Comalander Stadium. Beautiful place.
Beautiful
to
place.
Watch football.
About 3 hours, 20 minutes away from a Frito pie.
Oh.
I'm ready to go.
Now, hopefully they've improved their Frito pie game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Heroes was the worst last year, and we were there earlier this season. It was better.
Better.
We'll see how Comalander does we can measure up to what we got last week out at Alamo Heights.
Well, I hope they're listening. Improve the Frito pie game.
All right, Madison Booster Club, it's on you. We got Madison and Smithson Valley tonight as our game of the week, energized by Hill Electric, Frostbank, and NCE General Contractors. We do have an update. The Cowboys injury report just came out. Jake Ferguson listed as doubtful for Sunday. Marshawn Nealand is expected to play.
Doesn't surprise me with Ferguson. And you know what? I think that's a smart thing. Look, it's game 2. You want Ferguson around for the majority of the game. Let the guy heal up and be ready. But I think this is a smart thing. I think it was pushing it to try to get that guy out there. They're fortunate at this point that it's not as serious as we would initially thought it was when it happened. And so I think that's the right thing to rest Ferguson this Sunday and then go from there.
Absolutely. One other quick note, and Pledge, if you want to weigh in on this as our official Texans expert, and we'll talk some Texans coming up with Jon McClain. The roof is going to be open. Pre-game fireworks, a light show pre-game, and at halftime with light-up wristbands that are going to be provided to fans. They are putting on a big show, in the big spotlight.
Yeah.
Pledge, when was the last time the roof was open for a Houston Texans game?
I can't honestly remember the last time the roof was open because Bill O'Brien put the kibosh on that. So it was pre-Bill O'Brien the last time the roof was open.
What a donkey that guy was. He just completely ruined it for the fans, the players, everybody. I'm glad that guy's gone, languishing at Boston College.
Languishing? I mean, they're playing good. They got a big game tonight. Let's do the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions. Never enough time.
I'm going to start with some news I just saw on Twitter, a tweet from Tiger Woods that Tiger Woods has undergone surgery, micro decompression surgery of the lumbar spine for nerve impingement in his lower back.
Wow.
The surgery is deemed to be successful. Went smoothly.
Well, that's good. That dude's been under the knife more than most human beings in their lifetimes, just with the stuff that he's had to endure and back issues, the car accident, all of that kind of stuff. So
he does say, though, he looks forward to tackling the rehab and preparing himself to get back to a normal life, including golf.
Well, there you go. You talk about a guy that, still thinks that he can play with the big boys.
Once I think he gets to 50 and can play in the senior tour and use a cart.
You think he'll play? I don't know if Tiger's ego is such that he's going to go play with the old dudes.
I think so. I do, because he loves to play. And there's still a chance to
dominate
to make some money. And I think if he's able to have a cart, he would be able to get back to the dominating Tiger that we've always expected in what we know.
Well, good for him. You know, Jordan Spieth had surgery on his wrist after his final tournament of the year as well. So these golfers are going under the knife trying to fix things.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's what athletes do.
It's what they do.
Deshaun Watson, his latest accuser, is going to meet with the NFL and provide pertinent evidence. Apparently, they've got a couple of witnesses and 2 videos.
Yes. Now, that's interesting to me, the videos. Now, I wonder if this woman had cameras in her apartment.
I I don't know. I don't know. I mean, clearly she didn't accidentally go IG live, but who knows?
Wow.
I mean, who knows what's on those videos? But we said as soon as this came out, Tony Busby does not come after this publicly the way he is without some sort of evidence, more so than just he said, she said. There had to be something. And again, they were trying to settle this privately. And Rusty Harden, Deshaun's attorney, apparently they never really responded until they filed the lawsuit. But you knew Busby had something up his sleeve. And he says multiple witnesses and at least 2 videos. Now, I don't know if they're videos of what actually happened or videos of her confronting Deshaun, which I seems more likely than an actual video of what happened. But there's going to be some text messages, something. Busby had to have something to try to prove his point.
Well, the Cleveland Browns are certainly hoping so anyway, that it is credible evidence. So, that's just a debacle all the way around. It's really, and I joke, but it's really unfortunate that this has happened to a guy like Deshaun, or he has done it to himself after a very promising career began with the Houston Texans. I mean, the guy was really good with the Texans, and boy, things just snowballed downhill, and he has not been able to recover, and I'm not sure that he can.
No, and I don't know what it is about Cleveland and quarterbacks. Now, a former Cleveland quarterback was talking about possibly a future Cleveland quarterback, if they've got to move on from Deshaun Watson, could Shedeur Sanders end up in Cleveland? And with what he did this week, throwing his offensive line under the bus, I know it pissed off you, it pissed off me, it pissed off a lot of people because you just don't do it. Of all people, Johnny Manziel is taking him to task.
If I was O-lineman in Colorado, I'd be absolutely pissed. I mean, I really just don't see how you do this. I don't see how you come out and throw your own guys under the bus that you're working with, grinding with every single week, week in and week out. I mean, if I'm looking at that game, I know early on in the game, I know one thing you don't do from a quarterback perspective is throw a hitch route, late and on the inside for a pick six. So, I mean, there's a lot of blame there in that throw that Shedeur made as well that turned into a pick six early in the game and really got things, started for Nebraska. So this is something you don't do. I mean, your guys are your guys. You're supposed to rock with them through thick and thin. Obviously, frustration and things arise. But, for me, in my instances, in my time in the past, your O-line or your guys who ride with you, who rock with you, anytime your quarterback gets hit late, the first person that you see there, your O-lineman, this is something that may make some of those guys really hesitant to pick you up after a couple people may bang you around on the defensive side. So definitely something that's alarming. You don't see this very much.
No, you don't, and it's unfortunate. But to Shedeur's defense a little bit, hell, his father did the same thing basically. So I don't know what's going on at Colorado. It's just it really is a clown show, and I mean that in all sincerity. It is a clown show, and Deion came on and made Colorado relevant, and everybody was he should the Jerry Jones, and honestly. At this point in time, a couple of things. And Shedeur is a very talented guy. But would you draft him?
You're drafting talent. I mean, and again, those are all things that every coach says that they can fix, right? I mean, who's the GM that opted not to draft Aaron Rodgers because he didn't open the door for somebody, right? I mean, I just look. Do you have the talent? Because are those things that we can work on and we can fix? And the fact that Deion Sanders has always been Shedeur Sanders' coach. Always. I mean, from when he was little through now, Deion has always been his coach. He hasn't had another coaching staff. It will be interesting to see what Shedeur is able to do when he gets around other coaches. And that's not a knock on Deion, but a lot of times, you talk to players and, man, I learned this from my high school coach. I learned this in college, and the variety of position coaches and guys that have been in multiple systems talk about learning from all of them, just like all these coaches. Look at all the different coaching trees and the different people. You learn here, there, and all this. So I do think just when it gets to the NFL, this kind of stuff, is fixable. So yes, I would not take these comments and say I wouldn't draft him because of that.
Well, I would. I think there's a list of quarterbacks I think maybe that I would draft before him if I had that opportunity, just because of this. And I say that because I think stuff like this can lower your stock.
Cam Ward will be and should be the first quarterback off the board. And
I'm not sure about that.
Well, I mean, but you talk about what he's able to do, and there are some mock drafts right now that do have him as the first quarterback off the board. But there was a Michael Irvin story talking about the U over the summer. There was one of his receivers was going to a workout with Lamar Jackson and not showing up for the Miami workout. And according to this story, Michael Irvin was saying on his podcast, Cam Ward said, Lamar Jackson ain't throwing you the ball this year.
Yeah.
You need to get your ass down to Miami.
That's good.
And you know what that guy did? He got down to Miami because his quarterback said, you need to come work out with me. Don't worry about getting IG stuff with Lamar Jackson up there in Florida. He ain't throwing you a pass this year.
No disrespect to Cam Ward. I'm just not sure if he's a the overall number one draft pick. I think the kid in Georgia will have a say-so
kid
with
in
that.
Austin, too.
Kid in Austin as well. So I think there's a lot of ground to be covered before we get to that point in time. But Cam Ward, certainly, I would draft him before I would draft Shedeur Sanders at this point in time, in a heartbeat.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Let's look around the NFL coming up. A couple of really good games on the docket. We'll dive into them coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The best thing about all of it, they all have lines. You can bet on all the games that we're going to be talking about coming up here in just a moment. The Dallas Cowboys, a 6.5-point favorite over the Saints at this point in time. And if you got a feeling one way or the other, you think the Saints are going to keep it close, Cowboys going to kill them, how's it going to turn out? Well, you can put your money where your mouth is at BetUS.com. It's the only place that I go. I've been going to BetUS.com for about 3 years now. It's so easy to use their service. And right now, if you're a first-time depositor, well, you're going to get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits. That is unheard of. And BetUS offers value that other sportsbooks simply don't offer, like gambler's insurance. Crypto bonuses if you're into crypto and you want to do it that way. Plus, they do have casino games, and they have bonuses there as well. They've got all the products you need. They've got competitive odds, parlays, live betting, odds boost, prop betting, all of the stuff that you want to play to enjoy a football game a little bit more than just to watch it. Well, BetUS has got it. It's easy to sign up. Just go to BetUS.com. You can also call them if you'd rather do that. 1-800-MY-BET-US. 1-800-MY-BET-US. BetUS. It's where the game begins.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at SASportsStar.com.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Scott, you've got a question about radio stations?
Yes, I do. Back in the 80s, when JD and I guess Bobo were doing radios, why did stations sound so different, like in a car or something? Were they compressed or something like that?
Bob? Cocaine.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching
Does this have peanuts?
to waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello?
Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey? Half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of consumer cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FACE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FACE. Enjoy.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's got to be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30. The Aggies take on the Florida Gators, presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pregame at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix on this Football Friday. Couple of weeks away from playing golf on a Monday. Our fall golf classic is coming up on September 30th. Get your foursome signed up at sasportstar.com. We only have maybe about a dozen teams left, so it will sell out. It always sells out.
Always.
$100 a person if you sign up as a foursome, so $400. Even if you're not sure who that third or fourth player is going to be, you can get your foursome reserved before we sell out, and then we'll add in all the names later.
Absolutely. Just get in there because, again, Jason and I can do nothing for you if we sell out. We can't add a team just because we're nice guys. Can't do it. So if it sells out, it sells out, and you miss out, you miss out, and I don't want you to do that.
No, and look, because it always sells out, we've talked about, do we do 2 flights? We're not there yet, but tea time's 9 a.m. We start with a beer salute from our friends at Flight by Yingling. We've got Jim Beam in there as a sponsor, Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Yeah.
It all benefits San Antonio sports. So get signed up, sasportstar.com. You look at this weekend's NFL games, and there are some really interesting matchups this week in the NFL. Now, obviously, Cowboys, Saints, Texans, Bears on Sunday Night Football. The roof will be open down in Houston for the first time since 2021.
Wow.
December 12th of 21, the Texans hosted the Seattle Seahawks, and it was open. I don't know if this is good or bad for Houston. They are 25-25 when the roof is open.
Wow. So not so good.
Well, 500.
Well,
I mean, they had a lot of bad years in there.
Well, they did, but they had a few good years too. Even under that guy, Bill O'Brien, they had some good years. So interesting. And I wonder, that's got to be a mental thing, right? I mean, you're used to playing indoors. You're used to playing with a roof, everything controlled. And although it still is for the most part, the roof's open. You can see the moon.
You can see.
Maybe that's the problem.
Well, who knows? I mean, as long as that's the only moon you're looking at, you're having a really good day, I suppose. I just look at some of these matchups and so many good games in the early window. Tampa Bay and Detroit could be a sneaky good game because I think so many people are on Detroit and think Detroit could go to the Super Bowl this year. Tampa Bay played extremely well last week. Baker and Mike Evans with quite the connection.
Well, look, Mike Evans is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL, I think. I mean, he's a good player, and people think about him, but when you think about wide receivers, he's not exactly top of mind. I think he's a great player. And Baker Mayfield, props to him. He has resurrected his career, certainly, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's playing well, and we'll see how far he can take them.
A lot of West Coast teams traveling east and playing early, including the Chargers at Carolina, although that should be a fairly easy win. San Francisco on the road at Minnesota. Minnesota played well a week ago in getting a win. San Francisco obviously destroys the New York Jets, although I think San Francisco can do that to a lot of teams. But when you look at going west and playing early, those teams tend to struggle.
Well, yeah, it's just, it's a long flight. You're always a little groggy after a long flight, right? I don't know what it is.
I don't think they have as many drinks on the plane as you do.
Well, I can pretty much guarantee that. At least maybe going back home if they win, they have a few drinks. I don't know why that affects them in this day and time. Because look, let's face it. I mean, these guys aren't exactly standing through the TSA line. They're not sitting in the waiting room for an hour waiting on the flight. They just get on their first class seats and.
But I think it's because of the time change and that difference. Like I remember years ago when I was doing games for the San Antonio Talons in the Arena League, that anytime we played west, so Salt Lake City, San Jose, Arizona, we always left on Thursday for the Saturday game because Coach Lee Johnson wanted to make sure his players had a little bit of adjustment time to the time difference because everything starts earlier than your body clock for that kickoff when you're a West Coast person. Or Central going west for us, he just because everything was just off schedule because of time. You couldn't try to duplicate the Central time routine in other time zones. So that one day of this is the new routine and you try to go with it.
I don't know. I can never get used to it. Right? We go out west. I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, thinking it's time to get up, and obviously it's not. No. It's a tough thing to handle. It really is. And if you're west traveling east, that's got to be even weirder, I would think.
Yeah. So I mean, you go with it. Seattle in the same boat against New England, and obviously they're coming off the Patriots are that big win last week over Cincinnati. The Jets need a bounce back game against the Tennessee Titans in a big way after all the offseason hoopla, and for them to get beat the way they did against San Francisco, if they struggle or lose to Tennessee, man, could you imagine the talk with their coach and their quarterback and everything else?
Well, their coach is obviously on the hot seat. Robert Saleh is certainly on the hot seat. The only thing that I would be concerned about if you're the Jets, they couldn't stop anybody running the football for San Francisco last week, and Tony Pollard's got to be licking his chops. Not to mention the fact that the Titans defense played very well last weekend. So I don't think it's going to be an easy game for the Jets. And how much does Aaron Rodgers have left? I mean, I think that's a legit question to ask. Does Aaron Rodgers still have it anymore?
Well, and coming off the injury, one game. I think you'll be able to say the same thing Monday night when we watch the Falcons and Eagles with Kirk Cousins nursing that injury.
Well, I know he hasn't gotten it back.
No.
He's struggling still.
Giants and Commanders, I don't know if that'll be a good game, but it'll be an interesting game for sure. Rams Cardinals also I would put in the interesting, could be a really good game. Steelers and Broncos might be whoever kicks the most field goals. We might get a game with no touchdowns.
Yeah, that could very well happen. No doubt. Wow, there's some dogs this week, to say the least.
Then we've got the Chiefs and Bengals.
Yeah, and look, and everybody's the Chiefs, the suck. They looked horrible. Bengals are going to bounce back this week. Whether they win that game or not, I think they'll play much better than they did against New England last week.
It's and then of course Sunday Night Football right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So we'll have Texans and Bears brought to you by Flight by Yingling. So on Sunday here on 94.1, Cowboys Saints with an 11 a.m. pregame show kickoff at noon, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. And then we'll have the Sunday night game for you as well. We are your home for the NFL, which is the way we like it. We're also your home for the Texas A&M Aggies. And the voice of the Aggies is texting me as we speak. They are pulling up to the hotel down there in the swamp. Aggies against the Gators, the latest on the health status of their quarterback coming up with Andrew Monaco here on the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, I've been talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time now, and I'm really proud to do so. They're a family-owned company. They're a local company, and, well, as well as I do, your roof covers your home. It covers your family. You need a reliable roofer that you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. And look, Stevens Roofing can do it all. If you've got a commercial building you need a new roof on, Stevens Roofing can handle that. Obviously, residential is what they do as well. Metal or composition doesn't make any difference. Look, Stevens Roofing is a one-stop shop, right? I mean, you can do anything there. They're licensed by the city of San Antonio. Estimates are always free. 210-785-0994. And I know you're like me. A lot of you are. You want to save a little money these days. So if you've been thinking about going solar, well, guess what? Stevens Roofing has you covered there as well. Solar panels increasingly affordable. They can save you money on your monthly utility bills. They often increase the value of your home, and there are even options to keep the lights on when the grid goes down. Stevens has a team of certified experts who are going to deliver solar solutions that are tailored to your specific needs. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered. Give them a call, 210-785-0994.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're back from Las Vegas. Did Rob wear underwear today?
We'll talk Cowboys. We'll talk Texans. We'll talk Jonas. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy, and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the H-E-B, located in the Brooks Corner Shopping Center at 3323 Southeast Military Drive in San Antonio from 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday, September 28th. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by H-E-B.
Make the Break Room on Pat Booker Road in Live Oak your football watching headquarters. The brand new Break Room has 17 TVs, brand new pool tables, dartboards, and even a putting green outside to enjoy while watching the games and hanging with friends. And the kitchen is always open during games. More than your average neighborhood bar, check out the Break Room at 8084 Pat Booker Road in Live Oak. Follow the Break Room Live Oak on social media for the latest specials and events. The Break Room, 8084 Pat Booker Road in Live Oak.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Before you fire up that grill, get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal starts with great meat. Locally owned and full service, Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game. Steaks, beef ribs, pork ribs, their seasoned fajitas, chicken, poppers. Tri-County has what you need with the quality you expect. You can always take advantage of their Pick 5 special, and they always offer a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heavener, online at TriCountyMeat.com.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas, open to the public 7 days a week with a country club feel. It's football season, so book your tee times early at golfclubtexas.com and stick around and watch the games. Make Golf Club of Texas your football headquarters where you can watch every game. They'll even stay open until the end of every NFL game, including Thursday, Sunday, and Monday nights. Get into the Tin Cup Bar at the Golf Club of Texas, Highway 90 at Briggs Ranch Road. Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Andrew Monaco and the Aggies behind the heat. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix, the voice of the Aggies. Andrew Monaco will join us in a moment. They're pulling into the hotel now, and they got to unload the bus. And I don't know.
Watch out for alligators.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're down there in the swamp. College football weekend got off to a great start last night with Arizona State beating Texas State up in San Marcos in a thrilling game. And look, my daughter's at Arizona State. I was rooting hard for Arizona State. That game stayed on my main TV. The NFL game was on the second TV in my living room because, well, it wasn't as competitive. That was a great football game for Arizona State and Texas State. The game ends, and ESPN immediately goes to Scott Van Pelt Sports Center and all the Tua news. And apparently, while we were watching Scott Van Pelt, they were finishing the game in San Marcos. It wasn't over when we thought it was over.
Down 21-7 at one point. Arizona State comes on the road behind their young quarterback, Sam Levitt.
They put another second on this clock.
After review, it was determined there was 1 second on the clock when the player's knee was down. The ball will be placed at the 30-yard line. It will be Texas State ball, first down.
Texas State has a chance. Quick throw.
Toss it around a little bit here.
Now it's going to turn into Arena League football. And all of that for that.
There we go.
So Arizona State gets the win.
Coach, you and I are finally speaking because after a while they put a second back on the clock and ran another play. Could you explain to us what the referee told you there?
Yeah, I'm only out here right now so I don't get fined. That's all I got to say because that was ridiculous.
Fair enough.
That was ridiculous. Matt Berry with the call there on ESPN. So, but none of us saw that. None of us saw that because they put a second back on the clock after reviewing. So it was a 4th down play. Arizona State had the ball, and the quarterback took a couple steps back, was watching the clock, and then took a knee thinking that they won. Apparently, they added a second back after reviewing, and Texas State had one chance at wildness, and
it was a horrible effort.
Well, yeah,
terrible effort.
Yeah,
on the part of Texas State. However, I mean, I didn't see it live. I had already turned that off.
Well, nobody saw that because
I didn't see even the guy kneel down. So I was like, I was disgusted with it.
You were disgusted.
I was disgusted. Yes, because Texas State just all of a sudden looked like they forgot how to play football. Dropping passes, sailing balls. I mean, it was ridiculous. And they got to learn how to killer instinct. They don't have it. They're up 21-7. You got to put your foot on their throat and tell them good night.
No, but I'll tell you, for Arizona State, what you had on display were two great young coaches in G.J. Kinney and Dillingham. And the Arizona State last year would have lost that game 45-14. For them to battle back, Texas State missed some opportunities. That fumble, was and it was going to be which team created an opportunity or which team made a mistake. It was just a great football game. Now, I was rooting for Arizona State, but even if you had no rooting interest in that game, you watched one hell of a football game.
So I had a rooting interest in that game. I was pulling for Texas State. I wanted to see them shock the world. And boy, I tell you what, the college football world would have been talking about the Bobcats today for sure had they pulled off that win last night. A good young quarterback for Arizona State. I will say that kid played well. And then again, Texas State is for real. Even though they lost that game, I think everything that they want is still ahead of them and in front of them. And they've got a good football team. They've got a good football team. So excited to see them play, especially when they get into conference play.
It's going to be fun. And, for A&M, the opener against Notre Dame was so bad. A get-right game with McNeese State. You got a quarterback that's dealing with an injury in Connor Wigman, and we'll find out if he's going to play or not. Mike Elko on the Paul Feinbaum show yesterday, was talking about how much better Connor is today than he was in that Notre Dame game.
I think he would admittedly tell you he didn't play his best football, and he's a kid that we have a lot of confidence in, and he's played really successful football for us over the years, and first came back from injury and having missed an awful lot of time, and he didn't play his best, and we didn't call the game the best around him, and we didn't support him the best way, but I thought he bounced back again. I thought he went out publicly and handled it the right way and took ownership in it, as did a lot of the kids on our team, and had a much better week last week and was extremely efficient operating the offense. And, now I know he's chomping at the bit to get down, ironically chomping at the bit to get down there. And
going to be interesting to say who's their backup.
Marcel Reed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know much about him, obviously.
Well, he played some last week, but it was against McNeese State.
Right, exactly.
Right?
So don't know much about him. But, we'll see if Connor, because I'm sure Wegman wants to play. I mean, that Notre Dame debacle, still trying to recover from that. It's one thing against McNeese State. It's another thing to go down to the swamp and Florida, even though Florida is not what we're used to Florida being. A win in Florida is a big deal. So that should be a pretty good football game too, and it's in the prime window on Saturday afternoon.
Well, and A&M, I believe, favored in this game.
They are, yes.
But I think that could change depending on the status of Connor, Reed as a freshman was 5 of 11 for 71 yards against McNeese. He also had 43 yards rushing, 4-star recruit if he's going to play. Let's ask the guy that might know if he's going to play. Good buddy, voice of the Aggies, Andrew Monaco, joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line, just getting into the hotel room, jumping on the phone down there in Florida. What's the quarterback status, Andrew?
Hold on a second, Mike. I got to talk to Jason and Joe. Can you just hold off right there just a second? I'll get you after I'm done with that. Okay?
Yeah.
How about that?
That's exactly right.
Now you're just assuming. You're assuming it's Elko. It could have been Mike, someone else. You don't know that, right?
I mean, this is true.
Mike the bellhop, right?
Yes, exactly. Yes, the guy that carries your bags is named Mike. Yes, your microphone's name is Mike.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Game time decision, guys. It will be a game time decision. If it's Connor Wigman, if he can go, he goes. If not, it is Marcel Reed. I could say on Saturday. It's now Friday. That would be tomorrow against Florida.
So what happens between now and then, Andrew? How does Mike Elko see that? Will he warm Wegman up tomorrow morning before the game to determine if he can go or not?
Yeah, it's going to be. Well, trainers will work on him, and then you go when the warm up. Once you get to the stadium, Joe, you do that warm up. That's when you know. Right there. It could be after a series, Joe. That's what Mike was saying. He said, look, if he doesn't look right, I'm pulling him. And he's talking about Connor there. I'm going to pull him, and Marcel's going to go. So that's the thing. Now, Marcel Reed took snaps with the ones this week, and this stems from the Notre Dame game. He had injured that shoulder against Notre Dame, but he didn't have any of the pain against McNeese. A lot of people were saying, well, you got a shoulder. Why are you playing against McNeese? Didn't bother him last Saturday. So I don't know if it got re-aggravated. So that will be the thing. It could be something that gets decided in game. And I think what Mike was saying after Thursday practice was if he does not look right, he's not going to stay with him.
When you look at that, and obviously we always focus on the quarterback. You go back to the Notre Dame game, then you have the blowout win over McNeese State. What do you really learn about this Aggie football team when you beat the crap out of a team that you should beat the crap out of?
It's how you did technique. Did you win your battles? Did you do what you were supposed to do? I joked with Mike, and he chuckled because he knew where I was coming from. I said,
"Which Mike?
The worst thing, my guy, Mike, who's got my bags. Yeah. I need to ask him if he can break 100 so I can give him a tip."
There you go.
I told him, I said, the worst thing you can do in a game like that against McNeese, the old Spurs line, right, Joe? If you win sloppy, that made Pop mad, right? He was angrier after a sloppy win because did you win your space? Was the technique better? Did you clean up the mistakes that you had made the week before? That's what you look at. To score on the first 7 drives, and really, it's 6 touchdowns and a field goal. You'd like to have more than that. You know what I mean? As Connor was saying, points is what he kept saying. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted every drive to end in the end zone right there. There's still some things to clean up. It's not like that was the be-all, end-all. And Jason, you make a good point. You go from Notre Dame to McNeese now to Florida. You're going from a top-ranked team to McNeese in the FCS, and now may not be ranked, but it's an SEC opponent. So you know the size, the speed, the strength that you're going to be going up against on Saturday. And you have to improve. It's not like the only improvement goes week 1 to week 2. You got to improve week 2 to week 3. And Mike was pleased with how the practices went this week.
Well, and Andrew, let's face it. I mean, you're not feeling good after that Notre Dame loss, obviously, as a team. Then you go in and beat McNeese State. You're supposed to do that. But if you get a win at Florida, then I think that kind of cures all the ills.
As long as you do it the right way, Joe. You know what I mean? Like, I take that back. I think you would take a sloppy win, right? I think you would do that.
Sure.
Are you doing it because Florida was terrible, or are you doing it because you improved week 2 to week 3? You know what I mean? Like, can you see the uptick for everybody in this program? That's what I think you're looking for. Would it be huge? Absolutely. This team has not won a true road game in a while. This is now another test. As I asked Coach Elko on Wednesday, I said, I said that Notre Dame was like a conference game. This is now a conference game. Back to, the athletes are different. He said, look, he wasn't comparing the SEC and the ACC, but he said, look, I remember what it was like coaching 4 years in here against SEC talent. He said, ACC has it, doesn't have as many on the team of those A-listers. But yeah, it would, Joe. It would do this team really, really well. It would solidify an awful lot to get that win, to win on the road, get that monkey off your back. And then, here's the downer, Andrew, go do it again against Bowling Green. Like, it's not going to be enough to just do it, right? Just on one Saturday. That becomes the mark of the program and the building. So yeah, I'm with you. It would be a terrific win. Every win on the road, especially in the SEC, is big. Can you see the improvement through 3 weeks of what this team has done? I think you're looking for that as well. The win is important. If they can win we're still trying to find out the identity, right? So if you can find some of that identity tomorrow, that would also be very good.
Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, joining us here on the Blitz as he does every Friday before a game. And you look at A&M and then you look at Florida, and they're kind of in a similar position. They lost their opener. They got humiliated by Cam Ward in Miami, bounced back last week and beat Samford. They're kind of the same right now, trying to find out what their identity is. When you were talking with Coach Elko this week, what were his biggest concerns about this Florida Gator team where you're going on the road, yet you're the road favorite?
Yeah, the unknown of who's going to be the quarterback. Who does Billy Napier put a quarterback? DJ Lagway, the kid from Willis, not far. He was on A&M's radar, that's for sure. They went hard after him, and we had a huge game against Samford. Graham Mertz goes out because of a concussion. You don't think you're going to see DJ Lagway in the first week against Miami, and he does. The big game against Samford. Do you stay with the young man? Do you go with two quarterbacks? Mike was saying, look, you can't give two entire systems for the quarterbacks, but it's almost like an opener. You're going to have to adjust and know that, okay, if it's Lagway, he has these tendencies. If it's Mertz, he has these tendencies. This is a tough decision. Here's, I think, the difference, and I'm with you. I think the storylines are really the same for both, especially what you just said, Jason, about week 1 and week 2. It's the outside influences on Billy Napier right now and the expectations of Florida fans, where he's been disappointing to them, and that has made the seat a little hotter for him. Fair or unfair, that's how it is. And now it becomes a decision. If you don't have, you're like Sean Kelly, their broadcaster, we talked yesterday, he said, what's the old saying? If you have two quarterbacks, you have none, right? Graham Mertz is going to approach 50 career starts. There's a reason why he's here in Florida. DJ Lagway is the flashy number, but here's the but, right? But he did it against Samford. What do you do against Miami, even in a blowout? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to see the same defense, that Samford played that you are against Texas A&M. That becomes the choice of what you're going to do. I think we see both, but it'll be really interesting. That becomes the most important question. Eugene Wilson is a wide receiver. He's got the most catches, and he really seems to be the safety blanket. Questionable for tomorrow. We'll see if he plays. If not, they've got some good receivers that are in their second year. They were decent as freshmen in their second year. Big running back, Montrell Johnson. Most of his career has been played in Louisiana, but a lot of carries, 30 career touchdowns, kind of a bellwether back for him. So what it is, the other storyline becomes Jay Bateman was the defensive guy here in Gainesville at Florida. Sean Spencer was the D-line guy. They may have a little bit of an insight of what they're going to see, but it's that again, it's the size and the speed's going to be vastly different in the last 2 weeks. That's why I think they're going to be even faster. Look, all Florida teams, good and bad, are always going to have speed. Florida teams have always had that, no matter who's been the coach. It's going to be different than I think what A&M have seen, even against Notre Dame.
All right, Andrew, you got to give me a little scouting report because I'm really not familiar with Marcel Reed. What if he has to play, if he's forced into action tomorrow afternoon, what can we expect to see from the young freshman?
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say dual threat, but he can run.
He's going to run.
And that's not the key. The key's got to be, and this is we talked about this about Connor Wigman. about you've got to go through the progression. And that's what he was able to do last week against McNeese because the line gave him time. And Marcel's going to have to trust that. Look, if Marcel is taking off very quickly, one, he's not reading. Two, Florida's getting too much pressure. That's going to be the key. Got a good arm. I'm telling you, this is a kid who was going to Ole Miss, and Jimbo got him away from Ole Miss to College Station. Kid had a lot of yards at Tennessee. He's not as thick as Connor Wigman, but he's tall, and he's got a really good arm. That's, I think, the thing that kind of lost people. I think everybody assumed that Jalen Henderson was the number 2 quarterback, and Marcel beat him out. Throws a beautiful ball. And I know Coach Elko wanted to get him in with the ones last week against McNeese because he was going to play most of that second half with the 2s and the 3s in a game like that because the Aggies took care of business. But this is an exciting kid. Look, he's never made a start, but he played all but one snap against Oklahoma State in the Texas Bowl when Jalen broke his arm on that very first play of that bowl game. And he came up with 360 yards in that one. So is he ready? Absolutely. It's one of those kids who, great career throughout the state of Tennessee, came down here, did an awful lot of learning with Connor, with Max Johnson, with Jalen Henderson last season, and he has won that number 2 job and could get the start tomorrow.
Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Aggies, with insight that you can't find anywhere else. Like this question here. It's the Florida Gators tomorrow. Emmitt Smith, a legend down there with the Gators, although he did blast his alma mater a couple of times recently for some other things. But tomorrow, the Florida Gators have decided they're going to honor Emmitt. His kid, EJ, is at A&M, and it seems like Emmitt's gone full-blown Aggie since EJ has showed up there, and his daughter's there. It's kind of going to be an awkward moment. Will Emmitt wear an Aggie shirt while being honored by the Florida Gators?
No, he'll be Mr. Two-Bits. He'll wear that 22. It'll be orange or blue. I'm convinced. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Great point, Jason. His daughter did play soccer for Coach G. Guerreri here at Texas A&M as well. But, yeah, he's Mr. Two-Bits. It's similar to football and throwing out the first pitch for baseball, so he's there. But E.J. Smith, who will be back for the Aggies, he sat out last week. He's been in practice all week long for them. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. A little gamesmanship, right, from Florida, I would think, having Emmitt on this week, but a chance for Emmitt to see EJ. Now, what's he going to be wearing after that? I don't know. Maybe he goes with the neutral, just a white shirt, right? Maybe just a white, something like that.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, that's one of the mysteries of the game tomorrow that you can listen for. I'm sure you'll point that out on the broadcast, Andrew.
Absolutely, Joe. Well, I am now. I'm going to be shamed into doing it now.
Yes, you are.
Well, my first thought was, man, that's chicken bleep of Florida. But then knowing Emmitt's probably like, yeah, I've got to go to all my kids. He goes to all his kids' games, so it's the one time he can be at a Gator game when they're playing at home. And I don't know. I think pregame he'll be all Florida Gator. Once the game starts, he'll find an Aggie hat to put on.
I think it's genius on Florida's part.
Yeah,
I love it. Look, it's a great dovetail. Who knew even before? Like, this falls right in Florida's lap. Who knew that EJ was going to leave Stanford? Stanford wasn't playing Florida in football, so what an opportunity for here. And the bonus is Emmitt gets to see his son play. Look, he's flat out beloved here in Gainesville. You guys know that. So yeah. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who are going to really look forward to seeing him, but they're going to understand, hey, I'm sure he's going to have some kind of maroon as well, watching EJ run.
Absolutely, he will. Have a great call tomorrow. Andrew Monaco, I know you guys just got there, so go get some dinner and quench that thirst tonight down in Gainesville. Have a good call tomorrow.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Of course, listen to that Aggie Gator game here on 94.1, brought to you by the Angry Elephant and Ewald Kubota. Andrew Monaco and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com.
Always great talking to Andrew Monaco.
Dude, both teams with quarterback questions.
Yeah, they really do. Look, Florida's not very good. The Aggies ought to take care of business tomorrow.
It's all
with Wegman or without.
There's so many injuries with A&M.
Yeah,
we'll do our picks coming up at 5:30 on Prime Picks. I know if you're looking for a place to go watch the games tomorrow, whether it's the Aggie game, of course they'll have it at the Angry Elephant, which is right next door to the Roo Pub. They play early, Longhorns play late all day, and then you got the big fight on Saturday night. Just hunker down at the Roo Pub all day long there at 281 in Redland Road with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Big games, big fights, they've got them on at the Roo. And when you get to the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic. About 15 different burgers on the menu. The biggest and best wings in town. I love their fried shrimp. They've got great appetizers. Pledge tells me the salads are wonderful. And that kitchen is open late every day with the full menu available. The Roo Pub, happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
This is The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com. 1, 2, 3, Cowboys! South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon and noon. The Cowboys take on the New Orleans Saints at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pregame starts at 11 a.m. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is home cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Testosterone plays a significant role in regulating fat metabolism and distribution in the body. It also helps to reduce serious health risks down the line. I'm Manny with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we carry the highest quality natural testosterone boosters on the market. It immediately provides you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improves your mood. With 11 San Antonio area locations, find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for all the support.
Smoky Moe's Texas Barbecue is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Stop in for a signature chopped Baker potato. Pick up brisket, turkey, and mac and cheese for family dinner. Order freshly made breakfast tacos. Whatever you choose. Smoky Moe's Barbecue serves great tasting Texas barbecue fast and friendly. Tailgating? Order Smoky Moe's Barbecue for your perfect tailgate or game watching party. They'd love to see you at any area Smoky Moe's. Order for pickup or delivery at SmokyMoe'sBBQ.com. Smoky Moe's. The pit is lit.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first and buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
My wife and I always loved doing everything together. Jiu-jitsu, kayaking, and intimacy was always on point. It was around my early 30s when I noticed a downward trend. Watching a lot of TV, putting on weight, and just full of self-doubt. I had tried another men's clinic with disappointing results. It's the personalized treatment I receive at Revive Men's Health that has been the complete game changer for me. I've got my energy and motivation back. I'm feeling stronger than I did in my 20s, and it made me a much better husband to my wife.
I'm Nicole Chrysler, healthcare provider at Revive Men's Health. If you are always feeling tired or moody, have a difficult time sleeping, or decreased libido, you may be suffering from low testosterone.
Book your free T-check and exam. Call Revive Men's Health San Antonio at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chungla. Sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, we're just getting this breaking news. The San Francisco 49ers have ruled Christian McCaffrey out for this week. They're now considering placing him on injured reserve, which would sideline him not only this week, but for 3 more games. Haven't heard any update on Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Went out with a concussion last night, his 3rd confirmed concussion in his career, which began back in 2021.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the 3rd time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on this Football Friday. And all the injury news. Yeah.
Wow. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, if they put him on IR, he's got to miss at least 4. And I guess the first one doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
You can't go retro on that. Stephen Jones, talking on 105.3 The Fan this afternoon, says it could be a stretch for Jake Ferguson. They're taking a very conservative approach because they like their tight end room.
Well, who's left in the tight end room? That's the thing. You got Schoonmaker, but who else? Because John Stevens is out as well.
Yeah, but they've got that other dude that's on the practice squad that I'm sure they'll end up calling up. But
boy, good luck.
I mean, a lot of pressure now all of a sudden on Joe's favorite player in Luke Schoonmaker.
Yeah, Scooney. Nice waste of a 2nd-round draft pick, that's for sure.
Yeah, here we go.
And I don't blame. Look, with all of what we saw with Ferguson last week, sprained MCL, there's no reason to rush the guy back. You got to try and tread water without him. You ought to be able to do that against the Saints. Not saying it's a done deal or going to be an easy game, but they ought to be able to beat the Saints. And then maybe he's back for that Baltimore Ravens game, which is going to be huge in week 3.
You know, you look, and I know you don't win or lose a Super Bowl or playoffs in September. So this is the time where, look, it's got to be what San Francisco's thinking too. You got to get Christian McCaffrey right for the stretch run. That's a good enough football team that even if they have a loss here or there, you get in playoff time, he's going to be fine. And if he gets healthy, you're going to be fine. Don't rush him back where it could go from bad to worse. And that's got to be the same feeling right now with Jake Ferguson. Yeah, they're going to need him, and they're going to miss him if he doesn't play on Sunday. And right now it's doubtful. He's officially listed as doubtful. And seeing what Stephen Jones is saying right now on the radio up in Dallas, he's probably not going to be there. I still think the Cowboys should beat the Saints, but better than that becoming a longer-term injury. Go conservative in September. You know, the old saying, if it were playoffs, he could have played. It ain't the playoffs, it's September. Let him get healthy.
Which is probably the case for both of those guys.
Yeah.
If it was the playoffs, I'm sure both of them would be suited up and be out there. But, Ferguson's one thing, and he's an important part of that offense. But you're talking about Christian McCaffrey, who is a huge part, obviously, of the San Francisco 49ers offense. So that's something you don't want to play around with. I just know everybody that picked McCaffrey number 1 in their fantasy football drafts is going, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to be sick. you just are, but it's also part of it. It really is. And same kind of thing. If you can stay in it, fantasy is a little bit different. You get them back and for that stretch run. And obviously when you get into fantasy playoffs, it certainly is going to factor in that way.
Well, what's going to be interesting too, in our YouTube page, 830 Clay, reminded me Hunter Lupke. They've been experimenting with him at tight end. He may see some action out there as well.
Yeah. And again, I could see them getting a little bit creative. And there is a concern because the run game wasn't all that great last week against Cleveland. And, just from a blocking and protection standpoint, Ferguson is a good blocker. Schoonmaker wasn't last year, although probably better than most give him credit for. Kind of like Dalton Schultz was probably turning into a better blocker than we ever gave him credit for. And of course, they're seeing that down in Houston where he has developed into a fully functioning tight end that can both block and go out and catch passes. And Schoonmaker, maybe he ends up living up to the second round pick, maybe. But to this point, we haven't seen it. And Ferguson is just that much better that, it was a reach when they took him. Maybe he ends up being that guy, but they're going to rely on him to play at a second-round pick level on Sunday if Ferguson's not there.
Yeah, they're going to have to. His biggest problem is he can't catch, and he didn't catch many balls at Michigan, so that's a big problem, I think, even more so than his blocking. I think Dalton Schultz, and Pledge, correct me if I'm wrong, is a little bit dinged up for the Texans, too. Have you any update on Schultz? Is he looking?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe so.
I do know that we'll talk to Jon McClain coming up at 4:35.
Yeah.
The general will certainly know. John couldn't do yesterday, so we moved him to today and a little bit more timely with questions that are there. And again, you look at the games this weekend. In the NFL, injuries, Addison out for Minnesota. I mean, there are some big name players. What I find interesting, Jordan Love might actually play this week. I thought he'd be out for several, but today's injury report, he might. He might be able to play this weekend for Green Bay.
But you talk about again. I mean, why would you take that chance? It's dumb to take that chance and put him out there. His same injury as Jake Ferguson, by the way, pretty close with the MCL sprain. I just think that would be a bad gamble on the part of the Green Bay Packers. If you're going to have to go with Malik Willis for the rest of the season, you're in big time trouble. Sit Jordan Love out. And even if you lose this game, you're going to be just fine. Even going 0-2, you're going to be just fine.
Oh,
you need Jordan Love.
The percentages of making the playoffs if you start 0-2.
I don't give a damn. The percentage of the playoffs with Malik Willis?
Well, you're a Titans fan.
0.
Tell me.
Exactly. 0. None. There's a reason why he's no longer in Tennessee. And look, I mean, if you got to go with this guy for a game, fine. But I just think, man, you're playing with fire. You throw Jordan Love out there with the sprained MCL. I just think that is a bad gamble for the Packers.
I agree, although I think their fear is 0-2.
Well, sure.
And I mean, it's kind of one of those are you able to? And are you limited, especially at that quarterback position, or can they call an offense and a game plan to where they can hide what's ailing him. I mean, the concern last night with Buffalo, even though on Friday, on Wednesday, he wasn't on the injury report, but you could tell he was nursing his hand and even handing the ball off a little bit differently, although Buffalo just rolled last night.
That was they didn't need Josh Allen to be the hero last night. So they had a running game, which was awesome, and their defense played fantastic last night after not playing so well in game one. So
yeah,
much different team.
And of course, last night's game, the storyline became the injury to Tua, and now questions about his future in the league. We'll dive into that coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. That injury to Tua cost me because I had him on my pick'em entry at Underdog at Fantasy last night, and obviously he didn't get to the completions threshold. I had him over, and he got knocked out there in the third quarter, although Josh Allen also didn't get me there either. So I didn't win any money last night playing the pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, but I'll get some on Sunday because it's so much fun to play. I already have a gimme, CeeDee Lamb at over half a yard. So obviously I've got that in the mix coming up on Sunday. You want to play Underdog Fantasy? It's a lot of fun. Win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats, whether it's touchdowns, passing yards, completions, interceptions. Making picks on Underdog is easy to do. So get signed up. Go to the app. Go to the website, UnderdogFantasy.com. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR for your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Promo code STAR. Get signed up today. UnderdogFantasy.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. They say I transformed the quarterback position. The fastest ever, the strongest arm, the most rushing yards. They call me a game changer. I say BetUS.com changed the sports betting game. It started 30 years ago with the industry's biggest bonuses, and they haven't stopped. This football season, get a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Join me at BetUS Online Sportsbook and Casino, BetUS, where the game begins.
How about them Cowboys? Jim Beam, bringing fans together across Cowboys country. We rise as one in Texas in handed-down silver and blue jerseys. We come together for America's team every time they take the field. So let's share a round of Jim Beam highballs on game day in Cowboys country. 40% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2024 James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy, and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the HEB Plus, located at 9238 North Loop 1604 West in Bandera Road in San Antonio from 9 a.m. to noon on Sunday, September 29th. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by HEB.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Come catch Canelo take on Berlanga in UFC 306 plus some football. Only at I-10 Ice House on massive 10-foot screens with daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. I'm one of 5 million active members. I play every day because you know why? It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports because I get to use my knowledge and apply it to win some serious money. And as a player, they invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if your pick don't hit. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with just as simple 4 correct picks. It is that easy to play. You can have fun. It's simple. It's a great playing experience, and you can use your knowledge. How well is Tyreek Hill going to do this week? How is Dak Prescott going to play? If you know, you go play. It's Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code Alamo and get $50 instantly when you play. That's code Alamo on Prize Picks. You get $50 instantly when you play just 5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30, the Aggies take on the Florida Gators, presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pregame at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinigal. I'm Jason Minix. If I said the name Till Lindemann, would you know who I'm talking about?
No. Although that sounds familiar, I'll be honest with you.
Well, hell, if I just heard the name Till Lindemann, I wouldn't know who that was, to be quite honest. Turn it up, Pledge.
Du hast mich. Du hast.
It's kind of scary.
Du hast mich.
It's the band Rammstein. I saw them in the Alamo Dome a year ago.
Okay.
How they don't burn down every building they're in, I have no idea. There is so much flame, so much fire, the explosions, all of it. They put on an incredible show. They're from Germany. I have no idea what the hell they're singing. But you know every word. But it's always a show. Well, Till Lindemann also does solo stuff, but he's the lead singer for Rammstein. He's going to be at the Boeing Center at Techport next week on the 17th. What is
all
that?
By himself.
Tuesday night. I don't know. I guess he doesn't want to bring the whole band with him. What I'm curious of, does all the stuff that goes into a Rammstein show go into what Till does? Because it's a show. It's fun. I mean, you know, you might walk out of there without an eyebrow or two because there's flame all over the place. But it's fun. It was one of the more interesting concert experiences I've ever been to.
So Till, you think he's bringing some pyrotechnics with him?
He better. I mean, that's my expectation. I have no idea on his solo stuff.
You going?
I didn't know until today he was playing. For some reason, this wasn't a part of what's on tap.
It wasn't. I can't believe it. Till. He's got to be disappointed.
But I'd imagine that we'll go see Till next week. It's a Tuesday. What else is going on?
Well, I'd probably have something to do, like feed the dogs or something.
What could you possibly have to do on a Tuesday night?
There's got to be some, I don't know, grass to be picked or something. What the hell I want to go see Till Lindemann for?
Oh, why not?
Why?
Why not?
Dude.
Mike, I it's like watching Jerry Cantrell a week ago, do 8 Alice in Chains songs. All right, cool. Is he good? I don't know if he's doing Rammstein, but if you want to go to the show.
Would you know Rammstein songs?
Oh, absolutely. You're listening to one.
Oh, you knew this one.
Yes, absolutely.
By the way, it was almost on time.
Oh, it was?
No, it was.
Yeah.
So it probably scared the hell out of you.
Oh,
it scares me.
It's a fun time.
I'm telling you.
It's a fun time.
Sounds like a good Halloween show.
It was September 17th.
Yeah.
Little pre-Halloween.
All right.
Yeah, it's a strange dude. I can tell you that. I've seen some interviews with him. But he's a hell of a performer. If you want to go see Till Lindemann of Rammstein on Tuesday night, we've got your tickets right now. Going to caller number 9 at 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. If you don't win them, buy them, livenation.com. It's a Tuesday night at the Boeing Center at Techport. Hope the fire marshal's there. He will be.
He will be.
Oh, dude, it's amazing when you watch how they do all the different shows. And, I mean, even the amount of fire that was at the Jelly Roll show the other night, which that was not a country concert that we went to.
Well, the guy before, Wiegerman or whatever the hell his name was, he had a bunch of fire going on.
He did. Well, hey, Jelly Roll, can I use a pyro box just one time? I want those flames going up.
And I thought that dude was pretty good. I will say that the Techport Center is a pretty good place to see a show.
It's a great place to see
really
a show.
is. So maybe even O'Till will be all right there.
Set the place ablaze.
Yeah.
In a controlled. I mean, you got fire and guitars. You're putting on a good show.
Did he have it falling out with Rammstein?
No, he does a solo project too. So I don't know. But I mean, you think about when he played in the Alamo Dome. He's playing in the Alamo Dome. There were probably 60,000 people there.
All right.
And generally, they're all big stadiums is what they need just because their concert setup is just incredible. Right. I mean, crazy with everything that they do. When we were out in California at Cowboys camp, they were at SoFi. And none of you guys wanted to go. But I mean, you just look at it and to see that he's playing at the Techport, to me, quite honestly, but that also tells me what kind of guy he is from an ego standpoint. He can do major stadiums and then smaller, more intimate arenas when he's working on a solo project.
Well, good for Till.
Good for
no
Till.
Ego there.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I got you.
I mean, some of those guys, they always want to be in the biggest of arenas and go that route. The one I'm waiting for is when they announce more American dates. I'll throw another one at you that I know you're not going to know anything about, which is kind of shameful as I say it that way. But Lincoln Park played the other night at the Forum in Los Angeles, and then they're going to play at the Barclays Center before they go overseas. Now, Lincoln Park is
I've heard of Lincoln Park.
Yes, well,
yes.
They haven't done anything in years because, their lead singer, Chester, committed suicide.
Right.
Now they've all gotten back together, and they've got a female in Emily Armstrong as their new lead singer. And the videos that I've seen out of the Forum, she crushed it.
Wow.
And there are a lot of people that are not happy that Lincoln Park went with her or they're trying to do it. But she sounded fantastic. Now I cannot wait until they come and tour America.
Oh, yeah, just jet up to the Barclays Center.
Sure.
I mean, that's the kind of guy you are.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Don't tempt me.
Well, I've already looked. It's as much as I love Southwest, them getting to the East Coast is a little bit harder to do.
It's a little rough, isn't it?
A little bit harder
Yeah.
to do. And now they're in a pissing match with San Antonio Airport that's got a lot of people freaked out. Did you read that article?
I did.
That's such chicken bleep, isn't it?
Well, they're not going to be a part of the new terminal, right? They can't have
apparently
spaces
they
over
want
there.
more space. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's all the negotiations. It's like Jerry and Dak and Jerry and C. Eventually, the San Antonio Airport's going to cave because Southwest isn't going to give up their rights here in San Antonio.
Well, maybe they'll put a Chick-fil-A in that new terminal. What do you think?
Probably not.
Which is the dumbest thing ever.
There's so many dumb things that happen that you don't understand why.
Sometimes politicians are just dumb. It's like get over your feelings because it's going to make a ton of money.
It is.
Geez, just whatever. Politicians.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not one.
Yes.
I got a graveyard in my closet. That's why I'm not one.
Well,
dude, that would be ugly. I can see the ads now. It wouldn't be pretty.
There's politicians that have somehow survived with worse skeletons in the closet than what you have.
Perhaps.
I mean, if anything, you're more relatable to the common man just because of some of the stupid stuff that you have done in life.
I just never figured that out. That was just so stupid not to allow Chick-fil-A to be in the airport. I go to every other airport, and there's a line around the corner for Chick-fil-A.
And it goes fast in an airport, too.
And it's just printing money. But yet, we can't do that because, well, whatever. But
yeah, but you're also the same guy that bitches when you see a closed Chick-fil-A on a Sunday at an airport.
No.
Yes.
No, not really.
Yes.
Not really.
Yes.
I'll go somewhere else.
But you'll bitch because they're closed.
I don't bitch about that. I think that's wonderful.
Get off my
And they can do it. They make enough money 6 days a week that they can close on Sunday.
I'm
perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because typically if I'm traveling on a Sunday, I'll go somewhere where there's, adult beverages.
Well, you're doing that anyway, but I have seen you. It's like, man, you see it and you go, man, I could use a chicken sandwich right now.
Well, they always use the Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always always. No problem.
None.
Yeah.
None.
He sounds like it.
Oh, yeah.
No issue. I love Chick-fil-A.
I'm not saying you don't, but you'd love Chick-fil-A more if it were open on a Sunday.
Not really. I don't care. I'm going to do something else on a Sunday. Chick-fil-A stay closed on Sunday. Isn't like Las Palapas closed on Sunday? Some of them.
Some of them.
Some of them are.
So when they sold them and started franchising them, the individual owners have the option.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
The original owners, they were always closed on Sunday.
I think that's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool until
you want some Mexican food.
Yeah.
Although in San Antonio, you don't have an issue.
Well, what I've always loved about Las Palapas is they're open late, right? And so they close Saturday night at midnight, and you're looking for that late night meal.
Well, this is why Jack in the Box was invented. Got the little mini tacos. Perfect.
Taco Palenque has become the new
Taco
spot for late at
Palenque.
night.
Yes, that's a solid go-to.
Absolutely. I know this weekend the weather's going to be great. If you're going to fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal does start with great meat. Tri-County Meat Market, locally owned, full service, and they're open on Sundays to help you up your grilling game. You want some chicken? They've got it for you. Beef, pork, fajitas, great steaks, ribs, beef ribs, pork ribs, the English crosscuts, their seasoned fajitas. Tri-County has what you need with the quality you expect, and you could always take advantage of their Pick 5 special. Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or online at tricountymeat.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're back from Las Vegas. Did Rob wear underwear today?
We'll talk Cowboys. We'll talk Texans. We'll talk Jonas. Get here early. The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch the most live NFL games all in one place, which means you can watch the Rams and the Colts and the Vikings and the Bengals and the Buccaneers and the Chargers, or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at H-E-B today.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Testosterone plays a significant role in regulating fat metabolism and distribution in the body. It also helps to reduce serious health risks down the line. I'm Manny with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we carry the highest quality natural testosterone boosters on the market. It immediately provides you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improves your mood. With 11 San Antonio area locations, find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for all the support.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
Come catch Canelo take on Berlanga in UFC 306 plus some football. Only at I-10 Ice House on massive 10-foot screens with daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
Enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent are required to purchase. Message data rates may apply.
Text TIP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. And they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X absolutely free. Text TIP to 42424.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
What's up? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is play. Yeah, it is. It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Feels like a Thursday because Jon McClain is joining us on the Buyers Barricades.
It's not
line.
Thursday?
It's not. It's Friday.
Oh.
It's a football Friday.
All right.
John, how's your Friday?
My Friday is going great. Thank you for moving me. I was in your neighborhood yesterday. I was in the Bronxville for a charity event with the Gridiron Legends of Texas, and it was a really, really good event to raise money for the Mill Street Youth Center there in the Bronzeville's, and I was honored to be moderating a panel. Y'all may have heard of this guy, Wade Phillips, Dan Wynn, Dan Pastorini, Kenny Houston, and Robert Brazil, and we had a blast.
Absolutely. And I know some local coaching legends like Jim Streety and Tim Kingsbury were there. It was a big event.
Cliff Kingsbury donated a great thing, 4 tickets and pregame sideline passes to the Cowboys Commanders game. And that was one of the silent auction items. And it was a tremendous event. And I think everybody was entertained because, man, every time I'm with those guys moderating the panel, I learned so much with so many incredible stories.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stories to be told with that group. I mean, my goodness, you could probably sit there for a year or two and not run out of stories, John.
The woman who put it on asked me, how much time do you need? I said 4 or 5 hours minimum. And one of the things I always judge those on, do people get up? Do they get up to go to the bathroom? Do they get up to leave? And nobody got up. At one point near the end, they were telling Earl Campbell stories, and everybody was mesmerized. And I love it. It's such an honor to be able to do that. I've done it now in San Antonio at the Coaches Convention. I did one with Mean Joe Green for an hour, fundraiser for the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. And I'm fortunate in that my job now, I can go anywhere. In the past, I would never have left the Texans when they were practicing, but now I don't have to go to practice unless I want to go to practice.
Yeah, it's great when you're at that level, although I got to go back. I don't know if it's fair for you to judge the crowd interest if they're getting up to go to the bathroom, realizing the age of most of the men sitting in your audience or even on the stage with you.
Well, just because you may go to the bathroom a lot, not one person got up to go to the bathroom. Only thing they got up to do was to go get another drink.
Well, there you go.
And guys my age do that.
Replace a drink, get a drink.
That's exactly right.
Hey, let me tell you guys something. Hang on a second. One thing I told everybody to start off. The 2 things we know at this early point of the football season, without a doubt, Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl and the Longhorns are going to win the national championship. If you don't believe it, just ask their fans.
That is true, especially after week 1, John. I think the Cowboy fans were a little skeptical, but all it takes is that week 1 win, and it's Super Bowl bound, baby.
I don't understand, Joe, why Cowboy fans shouldn't be surprised. Cowboys were 8-0 at home last year. Dak threw the most touchdown passes, finished second in MVP voting. They're good. I think they're going to beat the Saints handily. The Saints beat up on Carolina, and Carolina may be worse than last year. But the Cowboys are good, and they blew people out at home last year. And I love seeing Deshaun Watson get booed off the field. And it's a good thing Flacco didn't get re-signed, because those fans would have been chanting, "We want Joe," or Flacco. And somehow "We want Jameis" doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't. Jon Machlain from HoustonTexans.com joining us here on the Blitz, wanting to talk Cowboys when the Texans have a massive game Sunday Night Football. Roof is going to be open. The excitement level in Houston right now for this game, this particular game on Sunday Night Football, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put it?
10, right up with that playoff game with Cleveland last year, especially since the Astros are stinking it up against bad teams like the A's and the Reds, and people are all fired up. It feels like a football town again, and I was shocked when I saw the roof was going to be open. That means there's no forecast for rain within 1,000 miles, and the fans love it when it's open, and it should be loud. They have problems getting people to come in and be in their seats when the game starts. Usually it's halfway through the first quarter before you get a realistic look at the crowd. And I told them, you put money under the seats and say it disappears, magically disappears if you don't get it before kickoff. But the fans love to tailgate and party, but they're trying to get them in because they're offering fireworks, they're offering everything but money for the NBC crew. So people are pumped. They should win. They're favored by 6 or 6.5. The Bears, I tell you what, the Bears were awful on offense, and Will Levis, the Titans quarterback, gift wrapped them the game with 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter. You win, and you have 143 yards, and your quarterback has 93, and you're down 17-0. It was amazing they won. But NBC loves it because now they can say, watch the unbeaten Bears featuring Caleb Williams and the unbeaten Texans featuring C.J. Stroud.
No doubt. Hey, well, John, I've got to ask you about an article you've got at HoustonTexans.com. It says Texans defense must eliminate big pass plays to beat the Bears. Now, after watching Caleb Williams in week 1, I didn't see many big pass plays. What makes you think this guy's going to throw anything deep this week?
Well, the first thing they ought to do, based on what Anthony Richardson did, Anthony Richardson only completed 9 passes. He overthrew guys who were wide open, but on 3 of his completions, they averaged 57 yards. 1 bad coverage, 1 a crossing route, bad angles, and the other one, Jimmy Ward, a safety, couldn't jump and knock the ball down. It was bad play by the DBs. So if I am the Bears offensive coordinator, first play, I'm going to fake a handoff. Play action, I'm going to take a 3-step drop, and I'm going to launch it way high and deep and see if the Texans can stink it up again like they did in Indianapolis. That game should never have been decided by 2 points. Never. And it was too close, much closer than it should have been, considering the Texans had the ball for 40 minutes. Indy had it for 20, and it was 29-27. Joe Mixon had the second-best game of his career, which helped them win it. But if I'm the Bears, I want to test them early to see if they're going to have the same issues.
Well, and that, I think, was the surprising thing, and we talked about it earlier in the week. Time of possession, yardage, all of that dominated by Houston. It was close. I was surprised at the defensive performance from Houston, to be honest with you. Surprised and disappointed. Is that fixable for D'Amico Ryans?
The best thing the defense did was run defense. Jonathan Taylor, who had 4 consecutive 100-yard games against them, with at least 143 yards, and the last one 188 in that division winning game by the Texans last year. They limited him to 48 yards on 16 carries and 3 a pop. So they did great with him. Richardson is 6'4", 245. He is a physical specimen, but he takes a beating. I don't think he can continue to take that kind of beating. But he did. That's what happened to him early last year when he went down for the season. But he's like a rookie. He only played 13 games in college, and he had, I think, 4 or 5 last year. So he's still in the learning process. But, man, he made some big plays. But that defense, if those guys don't do a better job of covering those deep balls, they're in trouble. They've been working on it all week. So I'm guessing because D'Amico Ryans calls the defense, and he's got a hell of a staff, you won't see Caleb Williams completing any deep balls like that. Maybe because they play deep zone. I don't know what. But, man, just think if Indy had the ball for 10 more minutes. But I don't want to take away. It's a great victory, 3 in a row in Indianapolis. And now they're playing on primetime national TV. Last time they were on NBC, Deshaun Watson caught a touchdown pass from DeAndre Hopkins, and they beat the Patriots and Tom Brady. So it's exciting times, but they do have issues on defense.
Well, I tell you, John, that aside, they get the win. They're going home. Big game atmosphere. The guy that impressed me, and it's just got to be the happiest guy in Houston right now, is Joe Mixon. Escaped Cincinnati, and now he's with a team that has a legit shot. Not that Cincinnati doesn't, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about him coming to Houston. He just seems like he's free, and he ran like a man possessed on Sunday. It was incredible to watch.
The Bengals were going to cut him. Couldn't find out why, because they liked Zach Moss better. And even though Mixon had 1,000 yards, had almost 1,400 yards rushing and receiving, he was only 27. They were going to cut him. Nick Caserio talked to his offensive coaches and D'Amico. They thought he'd be ideal for their system. But if he was cut, they're going to have to get bidding with other teams. So it was a very shrewd move for Caserio to say, look, we'll give you 7, don't cut him. So the Bengals said gladly, and they took it. And I remember people writing and broadcasting, Caserio's an idiot. You give up a pick for a guy that's going to get cut. And I'm thinking, geez, dumbass, think about the rules. And so 30 carries. Last year, only 4 players had 30 carries. And now Mixon does. Obviously, can't keep that up. But 159 yards, he looked great. I just watched the all 22 end zone tape of the game and the great blocking. Offensive line just dominated run blocking. I was stunned. They had some issues with pass protection. That's kind of a thing that comes from the off season, not being able to hit and play together and get any experience. I'm guessing that'll be corrected. But Mixon was outstanding, and I bet you the Bengals wished they'd have had him when they got embarrassed at home by the Patriots.
Jon McClain from HoustonTexans.com joining us here on the Blitz. As far as Sunday's game go, what's your biggest concern with Chicago coming in, or is this just going to be an easy W for the home team?
Well, that's what, the Bengals thought last week. But Caleb Williams did not look good. I was watching Mark Sanchez on Fox and Greg Cosell, the best quarterback person that I know out there, works for NFL Films. They were breaking down his performance, and they weren't impressed for a rookie for his first game. So I don't see him being able to move the ball on the Texans unless he gets lucky throwing the ball deep. You know that the Bears are going to have a plan for Joe Mixon, which means they might rely on C.J. Stroud throwing the ball to Diggs and Collins and Dale and Schultz. So Texans got a really, really good balanced offense. And the 49ers run the ball more than any team in the league because it sets up their passing game. And the Texans want to be more like the 49ers after being tied for 22nd last year with only 94 yards a game.
Well, it's going to be interesting. If Mixon continues that, that's only going to make C.J. Stroud that much more better. I've got to ask you this, John, because I am curious about your opinion on this. Tua Tagovailoa last night with another concussion. There's been some ex-NFL players calling on him to he should step down and retire. What are your thoughts on Tua after this latest concussion?
Well, when I was driving back from New Brunswick, I was listening to all these national shows, and all these people, they know what's best for Tua. Nobody's got a clue. There are different kinds of concussions. And Tua got that concussion because he didn't slide. It was so foolish to do what he did. He'll come back. He's not going to retire. He's got all that money to make. He's a quarterback. He's a player. And I'll tell you something else. Those guys that I was with last night, Pastorini, Brazil, Houston, those guys are in their late 70s, mid to late 70s, and all of them talk just fine. And when they played, they had all kind of shots to their head. So I'm not saying that that'll happen because a lot of guys have issues and have died with those issues and have CTE. But no player that I know is going to just walk away because their players are competitive. They love the camaraderie. They love the game. And I'm guessing, it was Troy Aikman's family, Steve Young's family. You have to retire. You're getting hit in the head too much. So grudgingly, they did. But I don't think Tua's to that point yet.
Well, and I think, you talk about some of the legends you were with last night. Well, we're on Radio Row and we talk to some of these legends that are trying to raise money and whatnot. Whatever issues they're dealing with, all of them say they would do it all over again. That whatever they're dealing with today, they would do again to continue playing football.
That's a great point, Jason, because last night and solicited, when they were talking about careers in football and things that had happened to them during their careers, every one of them said the exact same thing. They wish they're just born a little later where they could make a little bit more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt.
The great Jon Machlain working his own schedule these days.
That's
at
right.
HoustonTexans.com.
Yeah. He's earned it.
Absolutely. I'm glad you had a good time last night in our neck of the woods. John, always appreciate it. Enjoy the game Sunday night.
Guys, thank you very much. I hope you have a great weekend too, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
Make sure you follow John on Twitter at McClain_on_NFL and read him at HoustonTexans.com. Jon Machlain and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com.
No, I think John hits the nail on the head, and we don't know how serious that is. But again, these NFL players that are calling for that, they mean well. They do. I don't think it's anything to be mean. But again, this is Tua's decision to make. If he knows what's at stake, if he's explained to him by medical professionals, and he knows, and he still wants to play, then that's on him. And I have a great deal of respect for that decision if that's the one he makes.
However, I will say, you talk about older players that weren't making the kind of money that is being made today. You think about a Dan Pastorini. He was making good money, but the guys had to work.
Absolutely.
So during his playing days and off-season jobs, they made good money. They were rich for the times, but they don't have generational wealth.
Nope.
Is it easier in 2024 for a guy like Tua, who's got $90 million guaranteed if he retires today? He'll never have to work. His family will never have to work. Does that make it easier as opposed to back in the day where you've got a good six-figure job that because a lot of those guys weren't making $1 million like a Pastorini. But they were making a lot more money playing football than if they would have gotten a real job, if you will. So it was worth going through whatever they were going through because that money was just so different. If Tua, it's not like he's got to get a resume together and figure out how he's going to pay the mortgage payment if he stops playing football. With those guys, that was the case.
Well, and you're absolutely right. And that's a good point. But I think what those old guys have in common with a guy like Tua is the love of the game. Look, Tua and everybody else is playing right now have been playing football since they were kids. This is what they do. This is what they know. And I think, look, we talk about the money all the time. And Dak Prescott can tell us all day long he doesn't play for the money, which is BS. But you know what? He plays for the love of the game as well. These guys are competitors. They want to win. The money is a great thing. Don't get me wrong. But when push comes to shove, they want to play football to play football. And I think that is a bigger pull. Tom Brady didn't need the money. He didn't have to play till he was 45 years old. He had made plenty of money. He played because he loved the game, he loved the competition, and he loved the camaraderie that was provided to him. And I think Tua is the same way, and anybody else that has to make a decision like that, that's what makes it difficult. The money's nice. If you do decide to call it a day, you're taken care of, but they want to play football.
Yeah, and you talk about Dak and not playing for money,
Yeah, well.
and you're right. The money's nice, but, he loves the game. Did a very interesting interview, one that he was a little bit more open than he normally is. We'll play some cuts from the interview he did with his brother. We'll explain coming up here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available to you 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my house through the years. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. They've got the right service for you at the right price. Never a service charge, always free estimates. So call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or hill-electric.com.
Riding I-10 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Sunday afternoon and noon. The Cowboys take on the New Orleans Saints at home.
I like this kind of party.
Pre-game starts at 11 a.m. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota.
This is all cooking. How about them Cowboys?
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Have you or a family member been arrested? The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, can help regardless of the legal battle you are facing, personal injury or criminal defense. Attorney Jesse Hernandez and his team are ready to fight for you. Calls are answered 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. Call 210-807-8656 or visit jessehernandezlaw.com. That's 210-807-8656 or jessehernandezlaw.com. The law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla.
Hey, Cowboys fans, want to kick off tailgate season with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, Rowdy, and a Dallas Cowboys legend? Stop by the HEB, located in the Brooks Corner Shopping Center at 3323 Southeast Military Drive in San Antonio from 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday, September 28th. You'll even have a chance to enter to win tickets to an upcoming Dallas Cowboys home game, as well as tour the Hall of Fame bus and more. Don't miss out as we roll into town for the Dallas Cowboys tailgate tour presented by HEB.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Hey, football fans, Michael Vick here. I had an advantage. My legs were a weapon. 6,109 rushing yards, still unbeaten records. That's why I bet at BetUS.com. They offer American sports bettors an advantage. The industry's biggest bonus, a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. And get expert picks and predictions on their very own BetUS TV. Take advantage. Join me online at BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. BetUS, where the game begins.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's majestic golden eagles and other less majestic birds taunting you through the baseball-sized hole in your new windows. It's soaring guitar solos performed through faulty wiring in your garage, which subsequently erupts into flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Come catch Canelo take on Berlanga in UFC 306 plus some football. Only at I-10 Ice House on massive 10-foot screens with daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Does it squeal or grind when you brake? Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Pro Football Pick'em giveaway is back. Head to USASportsStar.com and pick the winners of each pro football game every week to earn points for each correct pick. Highest points each week wins a $25 gift card to Mellow Mushroom. Highest points overall scores $1,000 worth of tickets from A Awesome Ticket. Pick the winning ticket of every regular season game. Win the grand prize, $50,000. This is an audience national contest across multiple markets. The 50K Pro Football Giveaway. Register and win at SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
A lot of injury news in the NFL. The Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson is listed as doubtful for Sunday's game. Christian McCaffrey, the running back for the San Francisco 49ers, is out on Sunday, and we're told he could be headed to injured reserve. Tua Tagovailoa, the Dolphins quarterback, went out with a concussion, his third confirmed in his NFL career, which began in 2021.
Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, along with Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. 5 o'clock on a football Friday. Doesn't get better than this.
Not at all. Getting close to a little high school football action.
Yeah, your weekend starts in about 45 minutes. Mine in about 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're going to get a Frito pie, though.
I am. I can't wait. About an hour and 20 away from a Frito pie here at Comalander Stadium.
I sure hope that the fine folks here at Comalander Stadium have heard your complaints.
There haven't been complaints.
There have been complaints.
At Comalander. No,
complaints.
Heroes. There were complaints last year because their Frito pie looked more soupy.
But they thickened the chili this time around.
Yeah, week one it was a good pie.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you what though, that Frito pie at Alamo Heights was quite impressive.
I mean, we're 2 weeks in. They are the clubhouse leader. They will be hard to knock off until at least we get to Gus Stadium, because I know historically Gus Stadium has a great Frito pie. I may or may not have scheduled a game at Gus just because of the Frito pie.
Well, Gus Stadium is a must go to on a Friday night during the season. It's a good place to go.
Yes,
nice. I just hope the folks here don't have their feelings hurt because
don't give a damn about their feelings. If they have a quality Frito pie, their feelings won't get hurt.
Wow.
If it's a subpar Frito pie, they will get a very honest review.
So if they're using Hormel instead of Wolf Brand, they're going to be in trouble.
I'm guessing here it's just a Cano chili.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hormel is a little runny. Wolf Brand's a little bit better.
As long as it doesn't look like hot dog juice, which is what we dealt with last year.
Wow. Did you eat it?
A couple bites and then got a sausage wrap because it was unedible. It was not good. It was the only time I was like, yeah, this sucks. I'm going to throw it away.
Well, tune in tonight for the Frito Pie review.
Yeah.
Here at Comalander Stadium.
Yep. There will be photos on the Instagram story and on Twitter later. And man, it's amazing to me how this has become a thing because, you know, by 6:30, if it's not posted, man, people will
they want to know.
Yeah,
well, sure.
Where's the Frito pie?
Where is it?
Yeah,
people need to know. If they're coming to the game, do they get a Frito pie? Or do they go with a hot dog?
Yeah.
I mean, it's important.
Go both. But
both.
Go get a Frito pie.
Go both.
Get a Frito pie.
Now, do you go both?
It depends on John Robbins. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, it's really, there's a routine to this. Robbins goes down and buys it, and if he happens to also get a sausage wrap or something else, it's there. See, but he generally gets nachos. And then so it's what can he really carry? And, the later we get in the season where there's things with pockets, there seems to be more food that shows up.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because you can just slip a sausage wrap or a hot dog in your pocket.
You can. It didn't sound good, but yes,
well, I'm just saying you could do that. Now, Frito pie, you can't really do.
Well, no, if you put a Frito pie in your pocket, it's done for.
I will tell you,
won't eat out of John's pocket.
Now, if Rob, well, it depends.
No, it doesn't.
If he's got to go. I mean, that elevator takes like an hour. Back and forth. So, I mean, there's got to be some timing here, too.
John's a perfectionist.
Oh, yeah?
He's a professional. He knows when to go. Like his scouting job, he finds out when he gets here, what time do the concession stands open?
What time do they open?
Well, I don't ask questions. I just know when it's going to show up. That's on him to figure out.
So John already knows that by the time he gets here.
John already knows.
He knows.
Everything will be planned out. And you don't want to be really right there at the beginning, right when they open.
Uh-huh.
Because things aren't quite ready.
They're not ready.
They're not quite ready.
Okay.
Historically. And John doesn't ever like to wait. So and you want to make sure that the chili has been cooking long enough, that the cheese has been heated long enough. So I mean, John's it's got it down to a science.
So we'll probably get the Rico's variety of cheese here tonight instead of the shredded version we had last week.
Yeah, what they did over at Alamo Heights, I've not seen at another stadium. I mean, the Wagyu chili, shredded cheese, the Mexican blend over it. It was, and the cheese was cold, so it didn't quite melt it didn't melt fast. So that was good, even though the chili was hot. They have it down to a science at Alamo Heights.
They had silverware?
Cloth napkins and real silverware.
Yeah.
No. But there were some knocks there, like you're at Alamo Heights. Why are there not cloth napkins and silverware? But it was a spoon, not a spork.
Not a spork, and that's a problem. That would be the only X I would give them. There wasn't a spork.
You're going to knock Alamo Heights because there was no spork available.
There needs to be a spork for a Frito pie.
At Comalander and Heroes, do they go sporks or forks?
Spork, you see?
Yeah.
You got to have a spork for a Frito pie. I'm surprised you could eat that thing with just a regular old spoon.
Well, I mean, the chili was good enough. It was fine.
Well, I can't wait now to get this Frito pie review.
I mean, you could stick around at 6:01. I mean, you don't have to bolt right out of here.
No, I do.
I mean, I know you always try to be a nice guy leaving the stadium. Man, somebody's going to be rewarded with a spot right up front because I'm leaving.
Dude, I'm the most popular guy in the stadium when I leave this place because I pull out and somebody's right there with the blinker on. They're ready to go. You can zip right in there.
And I know you probably sit in your car, fix your hair because you got headphone hair.
Yes.
So you fix your hair.
I got to fix
call
the
your
hair.
wife.
Sure.
Check your bets while that dude's sitting there with his blinker on, backing up traffic. That's you, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
But that dude will sit there.
He will sit there.
Well, it's usually a mom. For some reason, it always seems to be a mom. And I think moms are a little more patient than dads.
Really?
So, I mean, it's kind of like me. I'm not going to wait for a parking spot because I figure by the time I wait for a parking spot, I could have parked and already walked in by the time that cheese ball decides to leave.
You're such a liar.
No, I'm serious.
You will sit there. You will wait. You will lay it on your horn. You will show half a peace sign.
I don't do that. And like at an HEB, I see people waiting for people, and they're, and then I think it's a game because the people that have the parking spot just take their time on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of putting the bags and making sure
they're being a bit of a...
Well, sure. Yeah, donkey.
Yeah.
But, it's their right to be a donkey, and that's fine. I have no issue with it because I don't think you should wait. By the time that 10 minutes that that person waited for that parking spot, they could have had half a basket full.
10 minutes?
Half a basket
10 minutes.
It seems like.
What is the max rule you can wait for a spot? 35 seconds?
No, a little longer than that. 35 seconds, that's not enough time.
30 seconds is a long time.
Well, it is, but people will last a lot longer than that. Most people.
We're talking about you, Joe.
Well, I'm just saying. I don't tend to wait 30 seconds. I'll leave.
It depends on where they are. Like if the groceries are in the car and they are getting in, I'll give them a little bit of time. Like I'll wait. If they're still loading groceries, I'm rolling past.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to wait. I'd rather be walking into the store or wherever I'm at than sitting there waiting for a parking spot because you're irritating everybody.
Well, who the hell cares? I mean, I know you don't care about anybody else. So I mean, but at the same time, how full is the parking lot? Like if you've been cruising around and you haven't seen anything, and then there's the spot, you're going to wait as long as it takes.
I think it's a game. I think
it's all a game.
People want to go in. No, I got the primo spot. I got rock star parking.
Yeah.
Right there. Bam.
Yeah. I'm not going to jinx it, but I generally have pretty good luck at parking. Pisses my wife off.
Oh, yeah?
Every time. Or just about every time. I don't want to say every time because the other day we went to the airport and we had to park on the roof. But for the most part,
well, why didn't you pony up for valet?
It was sold out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of people with a lot of money in this town.
A lot of, because we were pulling in, everything was sold out, and there were spots on level 5 on the roof, and there weren't many there. And you know, it's what happens when you're traveling on a Saturday morning.
Yes. But you took the car. Why didn't you just get in an Uber? Drop you right off at the door.
So my theory on airport parking, because we flew out Saturday to Denver to go see Green Day, and we flew home Sunday. I was only going to be there a day.
Right.
So it's, I don't know, $30 or whatever it comes out to. Uber's there and back is about $55. So I figure if I can
cheap SOB. Dude, some Uber driver, lost out on a fare because you're being cheap.
Yep. But the city got my money.
Mm-hmm.
And more importantly, I was landing at 3:00. The Cowboys kicked off at 3:25, and I wanted to be able to make sure that I was in my car listening to Brad Sham here on 94.1 and not dealing with the Uber guy that may or may not put the station on.
Well, you could tell the guy to do it.
Again, last time I was in an Uber, I tried to do that, and the guy didn't know how to work his radio. Everything was running through his phone. So I wasn't willing to risk that for the Cowboys opener. Let's talk about the Cowboys home opener with Jon Machota from The Athletic. He joins us next here on The Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, speaking of football and football weekends, have you made your plans for the weekend? I'm going to recommend something that I tell you, if you go once, you're going to want to go over and over and over again. The Golf Club of Texas should be your football watching headquarters. I'm going to tell you what, they have designed everything around the college and NFL football season this year, and it is just a great place to go. The Tin Cup restaurant, the food is fantastic. The drinks are flowing. The beer is cold, and there are screens all over the place. You really should make it your football watching headquarters, the Golf Club of Texas. Here's a vet tip. Make your tee time early in the morning and then stick around at the Tin Cup to watch football. I think it's a perfect thing to do because the golf course is in fantastic shape. They do a great job out there. In fact, you might think it's a country club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. They offer some of the best course conditions in town. And I tell you, the staff is absolutely the best. They are friendly as all get out. It really is a great place to go. Make your plans. Do it now. The best way to do it is get on golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. That's where the best rates are. Golf Club of Texas is right there on Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. Whether you're heading out there for dinner at the Tin Cup or around with your buddies, or your next tournament, the Golf Club of Texas is the place you need to be. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Fall Golf Classic is back. Monday, September 30th at Olympia Hills Golf Club. Get your slot now. $120 per person or $400 per foursome. The Fall Golf Classic, benefiting San Antonio sports, is presented by the Law Office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla, sponsored in part by Jim Beam, PPL Motorhomes, Flight by Yingling, Tomalitos Mexican Restaurant. The Fall Golf Classic, happening Monday, September 30th. Sign up now at sasportstar.com.
Football season is here. Look no further than the I-10 Ice House, your neighborhood sports headquarters with over a decade of excellence. Catch every college or NFL game plus must-see pay-per-view events on massive 10-foot screens. And don't forget, I-10 Ice House has daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House, located at 9518 Console Drive, proudly serving our community for over 10 years. I-10 Ice House.
Awesome Tickets is your personal ticket broker. Big games, big concerts, big events. Need tickets? Stay local and call Awesome Tickets. Stop paying all those crazy fees on ticket apps. Awesome Tickets has your tickets for all the sports, concerts, any city, any event. Avoid the ticket app fees. Since 1994, Awesome Tickets is local and veteran-owned. You deserve Awesome Tickets. Call 210-226-5136 or online at awesometix.com. That's awesometix.com.
Hello, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio, and since 1994, I've been representing people and families seriously injured by negligent drivers. Recently, we've all seen advertisements from attorneys here in San Antonio saying their firm does not get paid an attorney fee unless there's a recovery. And maybe you've heard, we don't get paid unless you get paid, or words to that effect. Well, that is what I've been doing for more than 30 years. I honestly did not know that there were attorneys in San Antonio that would represent an injured client and charge a fee if there was no recovery. You see, I practice law with basic principles, one of which is you never need an excuse to do the right thing. If you or a family member has been injured in a vehicle collision, including a commercial or business vehicle, an 18-wheeler, call me. The phone call and consultation is free. If you hire me, I will not get a fee unless there is a recovery. And this has been true for me and my firm for more than 30 years. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyerforus.com.
It's football season, and you know the best place to watch games is at the Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road, with those three massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. College, pro, the games are on at the Roo. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Testosterone plays a significant role in regulating fat metabolism and distribution in the body. It also helps to reduce serious health risks down the line. I'm Manny with Rock's Discount Vitamins, and we carry the highest quality natural testosterone boosters on the market. It immediately provides you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improves your mood. With 11 San Antonio area locations, find us at rocksdiscountvitamins.com. That's rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God and you for all the support.
Olympia Hills has renovated all 18 greens to enhance your golfing experience. Book your tee time now to experience the all-new Olympia Hills. Come and enjoy the dramatic elevation changes and a layout that has been strategically designed for your enjoyment. Rediscover one of the premier golf courses in the greater San Antonio area, complete with a top-tier golf practice facility, a full-length driving range, and a 10,000-square-foot short game area. Book your tee time now at OlympiaHillsGolf.com. That's OlympiaHillsGolf.com.
Come catch Canelo take on Berlanga in UFC 306 plus some football. Only at I-10 Ice House on massive 10-foot screens with daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home for Texas A&M football. Saturday afternoon at 2:30. The Aggies take on the Florida Gators, presented by Ewald Kubota and the Angry Elephant. Pregame at 1:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, Jim Rome here, and back in the military city of San Antonio. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Cowboys have their home opener on Sunday. Let's talk about it with Jon Machota from The Athletic, who joined us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. You know, John, last week we were talking about would Dak get a deal before the start of the season. He did. Then they go out and they get the win. What surprised you most Sunday in Cleveland?
I mean, I was a little surprised they got a deal done, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd said all off season that I'd be surprised they got a deal done before the season started. I mean, that was going off mainly the things I was hearing from Jerry Jones. But I think what ultimately happened is I think there was enough people around Jerry that made it very clear that this is probably a bad decision to possibly roll the dice in this season and to go into the offseason hoping to re-sign Dak, and maybe he's willing to just leave and go to a highest bidder, and you're left with nothing. So, within, I don't know, 48 hours of the season starting, I think Jerry had a change of heart, and maybe he was able to put to the side the anger he felt after that Packers game, and made a business decision I think most of us think was the right move. But that was the most surprising thing. I mean, I set my alarm pretty early Sunday morning just to be sure, because I'd heard some stuff. I went by the team hotel Saturday night, and I'd heard that there was still a possibility that something could get done. And so I'm like, I'm going to set my alarm pretty early. Let's just make sure, just in case, And even with that, it's like it still was one of those things where I was like, wow, I'm kind of surprised they actually got it done. I'm surprised both sides came together and met on the number that they did and worked it out. And so here's my thing on that whole deal. Like, you could potentially move on from Dak, and maybe 2-3 years from now you have more success. I just think that chance is a lot smaller than you moving on from Dak and it being way worse, and it being like that post-Troy Aikman Cowboys. And so I thought it was the right move in the end, but that was the most surprising thing. I, as well as they played against the Browns, that would be secondary compared to them coming together like they did and hammering home that deal at the last minute.
John, everybody says that this was beneficial to both sides. And I'm just wondering how the Cowboys benefited other than getting their quarterback, because Dak gets 200 and the guaranteed money that he got is $231, which is almost the amount of the contract.
Most, yeah.
Right. So $240 is the whole deal. So he almost gets the whole thing guaranteed. He gets his $60 million, no trade clause, no tag clause. All of that's, I'm still wondering what the Cowboys got out of this deal.
The only thing I will say, because you mentioned the no trade, no tag clause, I will say that they could still trade him, whereas you couldn't trade him if you can get the contract done. If they don't get it done, he can go to free agency, signs wherever he wants, and you get nothing out of it. They could technically still trade. There's a no trade clause because it means that he would have to sign off on whatever team that he was traded to, and I don't think he would want that. But at least in that scenario, you get something in return, where they would get nothing if they go to March and they still don't have a deal done. So I guess that could be a small thing. You could make the argument that they could move on from Dak and get something in return. I don't see that happening. I expect Dak to be the quarterback of the Cowboys for at least the next 5 years for the duration of this deal, and probably even another contract after that.
Well, and this contract is set up for another contract after it because he maintains all the leverage. But, John, I tell you, I wonder if the threat of free agency really played a factor in the Cowboys ultimately giving him every dollar he was looking for, because Stephen Jones on with us yesterday basically said that. I mean, he would have been the biggest free agent to ever hit the open market in NFL history. So what he left on the table by signing this deal with Dallas was his sacrifice.
No question. And the other thing I think factors into this that they're never going to say publicly is, I bet you that there are some I feel very confident about this. There are some quarterbacks on that list right now that we'll round it off to a nice even number of 10 that they look at and go, I can't believe teams are paying that guy, and that guy that much money. And so when you look at it like that, it's not like there's just 4 or 5 guys up there and you're just like, well, we got to make Dak one of those guys. It's that you're seeing the whole picture of, you're just like, well, if we want anybody even decent, we're going to be in this ballpark anyway. So even if we're overpaying a little bit than what we think, it's still better off than the alternative. And the alternative to me, and I think I've told you guys this before, is really what's gone on in Pittsburgh since Ben Roethlisberger, where you're just like, hey, that's one of the best run organizations in sports. And man, they're having a hard time finding somebody to kind of be the next guy there. And you'd think that that'd be an organization that would be line up more with, let's say, the Green Bay Packers, where it looks like for a third consecutive quarterback, they've hit again. You would think that the Steelers would be more like that. And they're kind of in that quarterback abyss of like, yeah, maybe they got their next guy, maybe they don't. I think there was enough looking around the rest of the league and going, yeah, I don't know if really the grass will be greener on the other side. We know what we have here. Do we want more success in January? Of course. But we know it could also be a lot worse. Let's go ahead and lock up what we have here. And at least let's stay where we are right now, or we get better. Because with Dak Prescott, let's be honest, there is a pretty high basement. I mean, other than the year when he got injured, you're going to be a winning team with him out on the field. I mean, I'm not saying that you're going to win the Super Bowl. He hasn't proved that he can lead a team to that yet. I'm not saying that he can't. 31 is still relatively young from the quarterback spot, but he also sets you up to where you're probably not going to have some 4 or 5 win seasons.
You know, John, it's interesting, and they got their guy, so we'll see how that progresses and what happens. Looking at that Cleveland game again, and I know the offense, and I give Mike McCarthy a lot of credit in that first half. I thought he called a pretty good game, keeping Myles Garrett away from everybody. Second half, obviously, they struggled a little bit. You could say it was a score or whatever, but that defense, and I know Deshaun Watson, the Browns' offense was not all that great, but that defense really looked impressive to me.
It really did, and I know that it's easy for fans and critics to say, well, yeah, it's looked good the last 2 or 3 years at different times, particularly early in the season. You know, I mean, didn't they open the season last year with 40-0 over the Giants? I get all of that, but it is one of those where it certainly didn't look like a defense that was, man, they got a new defensive coordinator. It's going to take a few games until everyone's on the same page. They're making changes. It didn't look like that. It looked like one that was literally picking right up where it left off last year. It might be even better when you factor in that's the best linebacker play I've seen from them in a long time. Mm-hmm. And Hendricks, you know, obviously jumps out with some of the big plays he made, but overshown too. You look at that and you're just like, whoa, they might really have something out of those two if those two can stay on the field. And that's a position that you haven't been able to say that about. So you got that. It looks like Kalen Carson is another corner that they hit on late in the draft. And so it's not like Deron Bland's out for the rest of the season. So you're going to get him back eventually, and you could have him, Carson, Jordan Lewis, and Trayvon Diggs. That looks pretty strong there. The safety position, Mike Zimmer raved about on Monday in his press conference. And then so you really look at it, and you're like, the only question marks on that defense is at the defensive tackle spot. And so if they can continue to stop the run, you know, you're looking at a defense that maybe takes the step from being good defense the last few years to maybe they become elite.
Jon Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. The offense, especially in the first half, played well, but the run game, I know Zeke had 35 yards in the first half in that red zone touchdown, which was missing. I know we blocked well, but overall, that running game is concerning as the season moves forward. Do the Cowboys have a real plan at the run game position?
That's a good question. I'll tell you what, the way he started out trying to leap over Denzel Ward, I was like, oh, he's been planning this for months. But I was surprised a little bit, I guess, at the beginning with how well he was running. I guess I shouldn't be, though. I mean, he's completely fresh at that point. You know, I mean, he's not taking any real hits in practices and training camp, and then he didn't play in the preseason. So I guess we should have expected a pretty healthy Zeke. But yeah, I too wonder if they got enough at the running back spot. And it does sound like Dalvin Cook probably won't be ready next week, but maybe after that is when he could get into the mix. I don't think that they have, let's say, an exact plan at running back. I think that you could still see them making a move for running back somewhere down the line. I think they want to see what they have out of the whole Zeke, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, Dalvin Cook situation. After a few weeks, if it's an issue, then maybe they go and make a move to go get a running back. But that is coming out of that Cleveland game. That is the number one thing on the list that you have to have concerns about. If you have any concerns about this Cowboys team, it would be, will they have the running game that will get it done as this season progresses? And I don't think that we know that right now. They can say what they want, but from just looking at the way week one went, I don't know you can definitively say, no, they got the answer now. They're good.
Well, and John, you know as well as anybody, I mean, I don't care how good your passing attack is. You got to have – they've got to at least respect the running game. You see the New Orleans Saints, and I know it was the Panthers, but the running game was fantastic for them last week, and that does nothing but help Derek Carr. We'll do the same thing with Dak Prescott. They're going to have to figure this out eventually. You know, maybe they get by with it for a couple of games, but then you got Baltimore coming up. You got San Francisco coming up. You got some big games coming up, and that running game has got to be better than it is now.
Oh, absolutely. And even if you were able to get it fixed there, then it makes you wonder where, hey, we don't play on the team. We don't have to worry about week to week. Let's look at the big picture. We're going to judge this team on January. And so when you look at the run game right now, when you're playing good team after good team, if you're winning playoff games, you don't think that the run game is going to have to come in as a major factor in one of those games. If you were to get to the NFC Championship game, or let's say the Super Bowl, like you're just going to get there by just playing good defense and having a good passing attack, it just seems unlikely. It would seem you need at least a really good running game in at least one of those games there. And so that's the thing I'm constantly looking at, because I've seen them win 12 games each of the last 3 years. When I look at this team, it's, okay, how are they going to have this thing together to be hitting on all cylinders in January, to be set up to finally make that deep run? And where the running game sits right now, I would still have questions about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think trade Trey Lance for Achane down in Miami. I don't know. That would solve a lot of problems. Although the big concern for this weekend is Jake Ferguson. Looks like he's doubtful. Is Schoonmaker capable of filling those shoes this week?
Filling the shoes of Jake Ferguson last week, yes. Filling the shoes of Jake Ferguson last season, where he was second on the team and, targets, receptions, receiving yards. I mean, he really was, very productive. And obviously he's a big part of their passing game going into this season. And the way that they summed it up, I think Dak was the first one to say, they dodged a bullet that didn't look good when he went down in that game. And then in talking to him in the locker room this week, him saying that he felt a pop and he had never had that feeling before, you had to think that, man, there's a decent chance this is an ACL, a season-ending injury. So the fact that he looks like he's only going to miss 1 week, that he'll be back for the Baltimore game, that's very surprising. I thought at minimum it would be some 3 to 4 week injury. So it seems like they dodged that there, and that's a good thing, because I think their tight end room is solid, but I only think it's solid with Jake Ferguson. I think there's a big drop-off after Jake, and so I don't think you can just look at Luke Schoonmaker to, hey, well, you're the next guy up, you're just going to take all of that. I think it's a combination of, I think you're going to see you're going to see Schoonmaker, you're going to see Brevin Spann-Ford. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Princeton Fant get called up from the practice squad and him have a role. There was times at training camp where I thought Princeton Fant would make the 53. And so I think it's just going to be a combination. I don't think they expect any one guy to fill Jake Ferguson's shoes in that game.
Well, it's big shoes to fill, John. Big shoes to fill. I'm a big Ferguson fan, but I think you do keep him out in this game and hope he's back for Baltimore, because it's so early in the season. You got to get the guy healthy, because you're going to need him later.
It is, and the way he described the injury too is like he said that when he first went down, if he had to put a number on the pain that he was feeling, it was a 10. But when we talked to him the other day, he said it was down to a 0. But added that, but when he's running and he's trying to do some things with it, you could start feeling it a little bit more. And so I think because of that, I bet that they ultimately said, hey, the worst thing we can do right now is to put him back out there, and then he suffers some type of a setback. Let's give him another full week working with the trainers, off to the side, doing things to strengthen the knee back up, so that because it's one of those things you put him out there, and even if it isn't the knee or something, maybe he overcompensates and he suffers some type of other injury. I think this is the smart play to not play him in this game, because I do think that he's the type of guy that at the end of the year, he's going to be number 2 or 3 on this team in targets, receptions, probably receiving yards, touchdown catches, right there with, Brandon Cooks behind CeeDee Lamb.
Cowboys have been great at home in the regular season, because we won't bring up the Green Bay playoff loss. Do they continue the regular season home win streak on Sunday?
I think they do. The Saints did look good. It just makes me wonder if that's more of because of maybe the Panthers look like they could potentially be one of those teams that only wins 1 or 2 games. So it's tough to factor too much into that. I just thought what the Cowboys did in Cleveland was a really good. It was a good showing to show, hey, you know what? We're not going to have a hangover from that Green Bay loss. As bad as that was, and how there are teams that if you have an end to a season like that's stunning, could have a hangover. This team in Cleveland looked like it was more of a carryover of the teams we've seen in the regular season from the Cowboys the last couple of years. And I just think having it at a home opener, that if you take the Green Bay game away, they have been outstanding at home. I expect them to take care of business again.
Follow Jon Machota on Twitter at Jon Machota, Jon Machota. Subscribe to The Athletic. John, have a great weekend. Appreciate the time.
All right. You guys do the same.
Appreciate it. Jon Machota from The Athletic on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. We'll make our prime picks coming up.
Aha, we sure will.
Yeah.
Any surprises?
UTSA, Texas.
Yeah.
Will there be a surprise?
You taking UTSA?
Please.
Come on.
Are you?
I don't know yet.
Prime picks coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. It is a Friday. Everybody has their weekend plans. I'm guessing most of you don't plan on getting arrested, but some of you will, because it happens to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is to call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential, and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, we're back from Las Vegas. Did Rob wear underwear today? We'll talk Cowboys, we'll talk Texans, we'll talk Jonas. Get here early, the party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
Hi, I'm Chip with Diamond J Properties. Have you ever imagined owning a piece of Texas coastal waterfront property? Your dream can become a reality tomorrow at the grand opening of Texas's newest waterfront community off of Matagorda Bay. You can own land on a waterfront peninsula starting at $59.9. That's right, $59.9. This ag-exempt waterfront community has world-class fishing, panoramic views, a sparkling pool, private cabana, fishing pier, boat ramp, boat and RV storage, and much more. Plus, enjoy peace of mind with paved roads and underground utilities. Coastal waterfront property starting at $59.9. This one-day event tomorrow is by appointment only. Call 210-853-0389. Call now to schedule your VIP tour at 210-853-0389. That's 210-853-0389. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Call 210-853-0389.
Come catch Canelo take on Berlanga in UFC 306 plus some football. Only at I-10 Ice House on massive 10-foot screens with daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4-day super sale and get 40% off paints and stains from September 13th through the 16th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
What's on? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday night football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on this Football Friday.
Great day.
Yeah.
Little Madison, Smithson Valley about to kick off. What is it, 7:30?
7:30.
7:30 kick tonight.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think Pledge wants me to give away tickets to go see the Toadies.
Oh, is that why he's doing that?
Yeah, I was going to do it at the end of the show, but apparently we're going to do it now.
Well, does Pledge have a show?
He does have a show. He's got an entire hour.
Entire hour
yes,
tonight.
Extra innings with Pledge.
How about that?
But we got Toadies tickets that we'll give away right now. To caller 19, 210-656-ES. 656-3776.
Oh, ouch.
The Toadies playing at the Aztec December 30th. What are you laughing at?
Wow, 19.
Why not?
Was that in honor of who?
I don't know.
Who the hell's
It's a random number if I'm going to do it 20 minutes before I thought I was going to do it.
Well, that's that way. You should have gone caller 20 then.
Well, is it 19 just seemed random.
I was just reminding you had them.
Oh, is that what that was?
Poor Pledge. You see
listen to that backpedal. No, you play those. I give these away now. See, I didn't want to give them away now, Pledge, because you're a part of the Prime Pick segment. But, instead, you're going to be taking calls for the next 5 minutes at 210-656-ESPN.
We can talk a little bit.
3776. Caller 19. And
wow.
You're going to go see.
This is why I don't do it at the end of the show. Because I have a show to get ready for, and you giving away things at the end make it hard to get ready for that show.
Yeah, but if I do it at the end, I do like caller 4 to make it easy for you. Now, caller 19, you're going to see the Toadies out at the Aztec December 30th.
I don't believe these records of last week. I got to go back and double check. Pledge didn't go 9-1 again.
He did. He did. But we'll get to that. We got to give Pledge a little bit of time. Got to give Pledge a little bit of time to.
Yeah, you didn't go 8-2 last week.
I did. They're out there. They're public, and you continue to suck. But whatever, we'll go from there.
I was over 500.
Yeah, barely. It's kind of like you on a golf course, man. You have a couple of good shots and a couple of bad shots. Make sure you get signed up for our Fall Golf Classic coming up September 30th out at Olympia Hills. Always a great time. We were out there yesterday. Those new greens look fantastic. That course is in great shape. It's going to be a great time September 30th. So get your foursome together at sasportstar.com. Brought to you by the Lofts of Jesse Hernandez, Flight by Yingling, and Jim Beam.
It's going to be a fun time. And, geez, by the time we're back on the air, or at least the time I'm back on the air, it'll be 2 weeks. You still got a lot of air time to go.
What are you talking about?
The golf tournament.
Are you going on vacation?
2 weeks from Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
I don't know what you're talking about. You said next time you're back on the air.
Which will be on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be back on the air Monday, too.
Yeah, but you'll be back on the air tonight.
Oh, yeah, for high school football?
Yes.
I see what you're saying there.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Sometimes your brilliance
Well,
is
no,
just overwhelming.
everybody else knew exactly what I was talking about.
I don't think sounded like you were going on vacation. Like by the time I'm back on the air, like you're going to go find a beach somewhere.
I'm not on the air tomorrow or Sunday.
You're on the air right now.
I am.
Yes.
But by the time I get back on the air, after this show's over,
idiot,
dude.
Pledge, you got 19 yet?
Look at that. Pledge is, he's talking.
No, it's time
getting all the info.
It's time to do prime picks. Yet he's still talking to somebody.
On the Blitz.
Look at that. He punched the button.
Yeah, doesn't mean he's paying attention. Some poor dude's going to be sitting on hold for the next 20 minutes while we do our picks so Pledge can get his info. Pledge, who's the winner there?
Roy,
congratulations, Roy.
That's
yeah.
I just pulled that one right there.
Yeah, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
How many Roys do you know?
I don't know any Roy.
I know one.
I don't think I know anybody named Roy.
You don't know anybody named Roy?
I don't think so.
John, you know anybody named Roy? You got to think about it. No. Nick, do you know anybody named Roy? There's got to be a cop named Roy.
No, you see that?
There's got to be a cop named Roy. Matt Roy? Oh, Matt Roy from Channel 4.
Okay, well, that's not,
that doesn't count.
No, that's a last name.
Yeah. It could be a first name.
Well, it could be.
Now that I think about it, what the hell's wrong with Matt Roy where he's got a first name that could be a last name and a last name that could be a first name?
What do you want him to go, Roy Matt?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he could take his wife's last name.
What's that?
Matt Elder.
Matt. Sounds like a John Wayne movie.
Roy Elder.
More Matt Elder.
You know John Wayne movie?
That's a John Wayne movie.
As old as you are, you should probably know a bunch of Roys.
No, I don't know any Roys.
I mean, it sounds like a name that would come out of Alice, Texas.
No, I don't. No Roys there. Roys.
I mean, people from Alice, they got to have 3-letter names like Joe.
No,
keep it simple.
I was actually Joey.
Because you were a junior.
Yes.
Yeah,
no Roys.
Add a Y to anything.
No Roys. Yeah, did you know any in Copper's Cove?
No.
See that? I think that name just kind of went out with Roy Clark.
Who's the most famous Roy?
Roy Clark. I don't know.
Somebody's got to tweet us now at Joe Reinagle 210 at Jason.
Roy Rogers.
Yeah,
Roy Rogers. There you go.
Yeah. Roy, what Pledge? What's this Roy's last name?
Boteo.
Okay, Roy.
All right.
Happy to know a Roy.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lady that worked at our radio station. Her husband's name was Roy. That's the only Roy I know.
Don't know any Roys.
Yeah.
Except Roy Bateo.
Don't know Roy, but congratulations.
Well, yeah, I feel like we know him
Appreciate you
now.
listening.
Giving him tickets, we ought to know the guy.
Do you know who he's going to go see?
The Toadies.
All right, just check
Absolutely,
to see. What is that show?
I don't know.
Where is it?
I have no clue.
December 30th at the Aztec.
Yeah.
The Aztec.
Yes.
Yeah.
When?
Well, I don't know. I won't
Pledge
be there.
just told you.
He did? September 25th?
Oh, God.
September 25th.
I have no clue.
Or December 30th.
Do you remember the 25th of September?
Do I remember the 25th of September? It hasn't happened yet.
Well, one did last year.
It did.
And the
No,
year
I don't
before
remember that one. I have no idea.
Good Lord.
Can we do our picks?
Sure.
The hell?
On the season, Joe Reinagle continues to suck. He is 12-8.
I got to check
through
these
2
numbers.
weeks.
You guys didn't do this.
You
well.
went 6-4 last week.
I did.
I went 8-2. Pledge went 9-1. So overall, Pledge is 18-2 through 2 weeks. I'm 16-4. And there's old Joey at 12-8.
12-8.
12-8.
It's 2 weeks. I'm in good shape. Right where I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
Right where you finished last year.
Yeah. That's something. Consistency is all that Reinagle cares about.
That's exactly right.
All right. UTSA is getting $1.6 million to go up to Austin, their largest payout they've ever received.
Good for them.
They even scored 10 points in this game.
I think they will, and it could be late that they get over 10. But, yeah, I think they scored 10 or more.
Will we see Arch Manning in the first half?
No.
Is any of us going to pick UTSA?
No.
A&M on the road against Florida.
I like Texas A&M in this game, I guess. Florida's not very good. I'm not sure who's going to be the quarterback for the Aggies, but I just Can't really tell you why, but I like Texas A&M. All right.
Well, and that game will be on here 94.1 tomorrow, brought to you by the Angry Elephant in Ewald, Kubota. You talk about you don't know who's going to play quarterback for A&M, and you don't know how good Florida is. I don't know how good A&M is. They both lost their opener. They both beat the dog snot out of a bad team last week. I don't know who's quarterback in Florida. They're playing at home. I'm taking the Gators.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I'm assuming Connor Wegman plays, but it all boils down to basically if Connor Wegman plays or not, which is a huge question mark right now.
Kansas State, Arizona. Arizona's pretty good.
Yeah, well, Kansas State is just one of those teams, though, that I think when they play a team like Arizona, I see like big bruising dudes for the Wildcats of Kansas State. Arizona's more flash and speed. I'm taking Kansas State, by the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
K-State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that game's in the Little Apple, so.
Boston College in Pledger's favorite man on planet Earth, Bill O'Brien, taking on Mizzou. Now, Boston College, a bit of a surprise team this year because, they had that upset win. I'm still taking Mizzou.
Yeah, Mizzou is they look pretty good this year thus far. I'm taking Mizzou as well.
Digwitt's got himself a heck of a team up there. Mizzou, a lot better, and I don't trust the quarterback O'Brien has. All they did was run the football against Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State sucks.
Yes.
They
really do. Yeah.
So does Bill O'Brien.
Well, yes, he does.
Yeah.
I agree.
Colorado State.
Wow. Colorado's got more talent than Colorado State. They're a clown show, without a doubt. But they've got to win this game.
Third clown show reference this show. That's good.
If Primetime doesn't win this game, I think the natives are going to get very restless. He wins this game. Colorado prevails.
He has to win this game, in my opinion, because Colorado State's looking for blood after last year, I think. But Coach Prime's name's going to be on the hot seat if he does not get a win here.
I'm going opposite. I'm taking Colorado State in this one. Last year, their coach didn't back down from trash talk with Prime, which I appreciated. That game went forever. I mean, with overtimes and stuff like that. It's at Colorado State. I'm taking the Rams.
All right.
In the NFL, Cincinnati and Kansas City.
I'm the only one that's bucking the trend here. It's Burrowwood Stadium.
Oh,
Cincinnati wins.
Here we go. I don't know if you saw them not play well last week. I'm taking Kansas City.
I saw that.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, Chiefs are going to win this one.
Okay.
They also didn't play well last time they played in Burrowhead, as you call it, because
Burrowhead.
they don't like that term, and they take offense to it.
Yeah. Joey Burrow has got to play better than he did last week.
They can't barely hold a water bottle.
Dude has got to play better.
Yeah. Washington against the New York Football Giants.
Couple of bad teams.
That generally turns into a pretty good game.
I think the Giants win.
What?
Giants. The New York Football Giants.
Are they going with DeVito at quarterback?
No, Danny Dimes is going to throw some dimes.
To who?
I don't know.
All right. Yeah. I'm taking Washington.
Yeah,
I think Jaden Daniels will get his first win.
I'm with you. Washington's bad. New York is bad.
All right.
Rams, Cardinals. We're all taking the Rams.
All have the Texans.
We all have the Texans getting a win on Sunday Night Football. And all of us, no surprise, taking the Cowboys to beat the Aints.
Yep.
Woo!
So I think you and Pledge are identical, and then I took a chance or two.
Apparently you can't read.
See, that's what happened.
Took Colorado, and I took Colorado State.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
He
You
also
took
took
A&M,
Florida.
I took Florida. There's movement day. It's an interesting weekend in college football because it's
movement
like
day.
a rivalry weekend. You got the Apple Cup, you got the Civil War, you got all these old traditional Pac-12 rivalries that are happening this week because, the Pac-12 is worthless at this point.
The Pac-12 is it's still worthless even with what they've added. It's done.
Yeah.
All
It's done. UTSA should stay away from that. I got a video up about that on the San Antonio Sports Star Instagram. Go check it out at SA Sports Star. Extra innings with Pledge coming up next. Then at 7 o'clock, we'll get you ready for a high school football game of the week. Madison against Smithson Valley, energized by Hill Electric, Frost Bank, and NCE General Contractors here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to